1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. Simone behind the glass for us today as we break down all things Kings, Niners, and we try to not get April fooled, which already happened to Dave towards the end. We will discuss fair or foul, April Fools. What are the rules there? That's later in the show. But first, the Kings take care of business as they defeat the Utah Jazz 127-106, and they take care of business. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good, man. Feeling good. Unfortunately, it feels like we're sitting in a bit of a different situation than we were last week, but we gotta adjust and try and make the best of it because they still have 8 games left, man. And that's the thing that I keep having to remind myself is it might feel all doom and gloom now, but they still have to play these 8 games and you might as well give your best effort. And so how can we do that is really been something that racked my brain all weekend long was just how are the Kings going to try and patchwork this thing, man, because they can't just lay down now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be a lot of Trey Lyles and maybe even a little Sasha Vezenkov, who hit a 3 last night as well, and Kessler Edwards getting some time, and Davion Mitchell 8 points as well. So it's just going to be by committee, and that's what Coach Mike Brown said with Malik Monk out. No one person is going to be Malik Monk or going to fill his shoes. It's going to be by committee, and Sabonis with 17. Harrison Barnes with 24, Keegan Murray with 25, De'Aaron Fox with 24. That's exactly what you need. That's what you need. And if you don't have that from the other guys that are playing, then it's going to be a tough road. But last night was a great start. And now it is time for Frank Fex.
That's right. You can check out Frankie's recaps after every Sacramento Kings game over at SactownSports.com. And let's start with the first one we just mentioned. 8 games now remain between now and April 15th, which is the start of the NBA play-in tournament, which unfortunately seems to be where the Kings are headed. It's not completely locked in. They do sit 2 games behind the New Orleans Pelicans now as the Mavericks move up to the 5 seed over the weekend. The Pelicans are now in the 6th spot. We know the Kings definitely do not own the tiebreaker in that situation. No. So things are looking a little bit tough in terms of their actual getting out of the play-in, but still some time, still 8 games left, and we have to, like I said earlier, still got to play them through. Notes on last night's game, the Kings broke the tie by scoring 15 points unanswered during a game-altering 26-5 run that put Sacramento up 20, a lead that they would not surrender the rest of the night, and that was definitely when things really took off. The Kings, Mike Brown talked about it in the postgame. They started spraying. They started hitting the threes, which was huge. HB knocked down a couple. Keegan Murray looked great. Speaking of HB, he was unstoppable during that third quarter, scoring 16 points. He was 4 of 4 from three-point range over just 7 minutes in that third quarter. Him and Keegan really were the bright spots for the Kings as on Sunday, both forwards crossed the 20-point mark in the same game. Alan Stiles, for the first time this season, a trend that they will surely like to see continue as they navigate life without Monk and Huerter. That's again from Frankie Cardicelli. De'Aaron Fox did a little bit of everything during the win, posting his 6th double-double of the season. That included 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. That's not nothing. Doing a little Keon Ellis impression there. Yeah. Though at this point, De'Aaron is the one that's definitely been putting him up. De'Aaron has recorded a steal in 20 consecutive games this season, marking the longest steal streak of his career. And that's definitely flown under the radar. We've talked a lot about, of course, Sabonis' double-double streak.
Right.
Talked a lot about Keon's defensive improvement, all that. But 20 straight games with a steal for De'Aaron Fox, that's definitely not something that should just be looked over. Davion Mitchell continues to showcase his improved offense, scoring 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting. He also held a season-high 6 rebounds and passed out 3 assists. We've talked about how him and Keon, their improvement is going to be big for them down this stretch. They're going to rely on those two a ton. Trey Lyles returned to action after 9 games off. due to an MCL sprain. He added 9 points on 3 of 5 from downtown. Sasha Vezenkov also returned to the floor after 21-game absence. He scored 5 points on 2 of 3 over 9 minutes. He had a nice three, had a nice spot in the middle of the paint where he was cutting. Just really missed Sasha and just how good he is navigating the floor. Sacramento is now 24-6 this season when Keegan Murray scores 20-plus points in a game. So that, again, seems to be the key for the Kings. The remainder of these games is HB and Keegan being locked in. And those two, they were absolutely locked in on yesterday's game, but that's going to have to continue. We can't see a lot of the inconsistencies from Keegan and definitely from HB that we've seen throughout this season, man, because those two, especially with Malik and Kevin Huerter out, they just have to be great, man. They really do every night.
The greenest of green lights for Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
Just put him up 10 for 18 and 5 and 12 from 3-point land. There's just, you have to be a volume shooter now.
Yep.
That's what happens with Malik Monk out.
Yep.
And we're talking to Carmichael Dave after the show ends and just having conversations about Malik Monk, and we'll get into the numbers here in a little bit, but this could be life next season, right? And,
could be.
And obviously you would hope somebody else joins, but you're getting a little taste of life without Malik Monk. If somebody else throws him a bag that the Kings literally cannot afford to do, you're gonna need that Keegan Murray jump yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yep.
Immediately.
Absolutely. It no longer becomes a nice perk. It's now a necessity.
Yeah.
And, I feel like now is a great time to show it. He's had a year and 3 quarters or pretty much 2 full years now to get ready for a moment like this. This is exactly the time in the season where you'd want to see him start to take that leap. It's coming at a good time. It's all open. And like you said, just the ultimate green light. Keegan really can't be too aggressive, it feels like, in these games. It feels like everybody knows. Yesterday the scoring or the shot distribution was wonderful. Whitey actually asked about it in the post game. They really did a great job of spreading the ball around, but more times than not, it's not going to be that clean. And there's going to be nights where it's a lot of De'Aaron Fox, and they're probably going to, you saw last night, they had to do a little bit more aggressive Sabonis looking for his shot. They're going to need Keegan Murray to, I don't know what the number is, like 16, at least 16 shots a game. It feels like he's going to have to take a pretty big leap on the offensive end here down the stretch.
Yeah, and you see De'Aaron Fox putting up 24. That's a guy who you're seeing his evolution. And a little bit later in the show, we're going to break down how much people believe in De'Aaron Fox as the guy, because I think people are torn, man. I think people are torn on what his ceiling is. And, I'm not going to name names, but you're sitting there and you're watching the Mavs with Kyrie and Luka. Yeah. And some people had some things to say just as far as there's just a difference. Yeah. There's a difference. The question is, can De'Aaron get there? Mm-hmm. And whether or not you believe in him. And this is not proving time, but pretty darn close to proving time.
Absolutely.
Your guys are down. How good are you, De'Aaron? How good do you want to be?
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of caring. I do believe he cares. It's just a matter of, look, you're looking at Shea. Yep. You're looking at guys around the league. The parity is outstanding right now. Who's going to step up? And this is a great time to do it. And he did it last night. And it's not just about scoring at a high. He did it with 12 assists as well for a nice double-double. If you're playing like that, how far can the Kings go?
Yeah, no, exactly. They need him to be the best player on the floor more times than not, and they're going to need him to look like the guy he looked like in the playoffs last year, and it's going to be on him and Sabonis. Absolutely. It can't just be De'Aaron Fox, because down the stretch, we know Malik Monk that's really when he was shining the most. We've had conversations this year about, is Malik Monk really the Kings' most clutch player this season? So they're going to need, their other All-NBA player, the guy who they've relied on a lot this season, to step up as well. Also, we could talk about it too. We've had a lot of conversations here about Mike Brown and how, I personally have given him a big slide for the guy, putting more of the blame on the guys. This is now at a point where we talk about the best coaches in the NBA, guys like Eric Spoelstra. they make their money, they make their credibility off of how they coach environments that don't look like winning situations,
Right.
but yet they still win. So now, not only is the pressure elevated on Sabonis, absolutely. Not only is it elevated on De'Aaron Fox, but it's also elevated on Mike Brown too. Like, you got to push all of the right buttons at this point in the season, especially with all those guys down. You need to know your team at this point.
Coming up next, we open up the phone lines and we break down Malik Monk and his sprained knee. Mike Brown had some things to say about it as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings
Out
game.
of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Welcome to the April Adventure Sales Event at Kia Vacaville. Are you ready for an extraordinary experience? We're excited to introduce you to the pinnacle of automotive excellence, the Kia Telluride. During April Adventure, come and explore the remarkable features of the Kia Telluride. It's not just a vehicle, it's a lifestyle with a seamless blend of sophistication and practicality. The Telluride is ready to elevate your driving experience to new heights. Whether you're embarking on a family road trip or navigating the urban jungle, the Kia Telluride offers unparalleled comfort and innovation. Plus, with Kia's commitment to safety and reliability, you can drive with confidence wherever the road takes you. Don't miss this opportunity to experience the extraordinary Kia Telluride for yourself. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and take advantage of exclusive offers during the April Adventure Sales Event. Your adventure begins here. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets excellence. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Doncic, right angle. Splitting defenders, draws a foul. He'll be going to the free throw line for Dallas. Luka ended up on top of one of the Kings.
Yeah, he landed right on top of Malik Monk, G-Man.
And Malik is still on the floor. Oh, I see now on a replay. And that was Malik went down on his left hip, and then Luka landed right on his right knee and lower leg.
Not only did Luka, I'm just trying to recap that night in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
This guy disrespects the Kings. He didn't get drafted. That's not his fault. He reminds us with Vlade, he takes out arguable. I mean, Malik has been one of the best players this season. He takes out 6th man of the year front runner.
Yep.
What a terrible night. What a terrible night. And I know they beat the Jazz last night, but just big picture as we get into this Malik Monk stuff, brutal.
Absolutely brutal. There was a couple times where on Saturday, I just found myself shaking my head, and like it was like I had PTSD or like some real trauma where it just like moments from the night before just would flash across my eyes, and I'd be like, oh my God, that was just 24 hours ago. What happened? And it was a roller coaster. And the fact that happened early in the game too, it really affected the night. I mean, I think obviously the Kings could have desperately used Malik Monk in that second half. And I think that's a big reason why they did end up losing on Friday. I feel like Malik, he had been on a rough stretch before that time. He had a couple, a 0-point performance, just a lot of inefficiencies in his shooting. And you could feel that he was going to use that as kind of a springboard. And he had, I mean, crazy enough, right before he gets hurt, the last shot he makes is this like over the head flip and one. Yep. And you kind of feel like he missed his first three.
He did.
I do remember that. I remember you were concerned about him missing his first three. And then he has that and one. And it's like, all right, cool. Let's get it going. Malik's going to feel himself.
We want the funk.
It was all vibing. And then that happens.
Luka flops and falls on him.
I know that was like, Chris, obviously you hate what happened, but like the fact that it happened, I was like, Christopher Laud somewhere has a smirk on his face because literally Luka fell
Mhm.
on Malik, and that's all it took to hurt him. Because
Yep.
like it's one of those where I've been test casing it, man. Like these injuries that don't look that serious in the moment,
Yeah.
nothing twists, nothing like really
Right.
banged or anything like
Mhm.
that. He walks off. There was kind of like, oh, like Malik looks like he's okay. And then we find out, the next day he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Just a huge blow. I mean, obviously everybody out there who watched any King, you could watch 2 Kings games this year and you would know how important Malik Monk is to this team. It's a devastating blow. Mike Brown said it yesterday. Like you can't just replace a guy like Malik Monk. So there is no, hey, Trey's back, Sasha's back. It's okay. We'll be able to patchwork things. This is not something that you can just patchwork. On top of the Kevin Huerter injury as well, you're now on guys that you were not expecting to have impact in the playoffs if the Kings even do get there at this point. But at this point in the season, you weren't supposed to be relying on Keon Ellis and Kessler Edwards. And, definitely you were expecting to rely on Davion. But, a lot of these bench guys that are playing, you weren't really expecting to rely on at this point in the season.
Yeah. And, losing a guy like Malik, you talk about 15.6 points a game, 5 assists a game. You really just can't replace somebody like that. And that's exactly what Mike Brown had to say.
You can't replace Malik. That's tough. He did a lot for us. And he could easily start for a lot of teams, but he was on the floor a lot of times down the stretch of our games. And so to think that one person is going to come in and replace him, it's not possible. So we got to do it by committee. Again, it's just the next guy up. And if your number's called, you got to go play within what you do, play your role as best you can. And a prime example of a great pro is Kessler. His number was called in the last game. I don't know the last time he played significant minutes during a tough stretch, and he defended his behind off as best he could. He rebounded as best he could, and he played within himself offensively. That ball got swung to him. They sagged off him, and he shot it. He let it fly. And so everybody else has to understand what their role is and not try to do too much, but try to bring whatever their role is to the table at the highest of high levels. And then, of course, it's good to get Trey back and great to get Sasha back. And we just got to figure out how to make sure we mix them in the right way without messing with any of the rhythm or anything like that we may have already.
Chris, one question for you.
What's up?
Do you think that this is the last time we will see Malik Monk in a Kings jersey?
I hate that you just asked that question. It's a totally fair question. Absolutely. I mean, we asked the same question about Kevin Huerter. So we have to ask the same question about Malik, whose contract is up. I don't think it is. There definitely might be some optimism behind there. I think, what he's building here, I do think he actually does care about. I do think the relationship that he has not only with De'Aaron Fox, but with Mike Brown does matter to him. I think it matters that the Kings gave him a shot initially. I do think Malik does care about those things. However, it would be really ignorant to not ignore the facts of the matter that there are a lot of teams out there that can offer Malik pretty much everything he's asking for. And if not, they only are missing one thing, and you can balance it with giving him everything else, whether it be a starting spot, more money,
right,
bigger stage, a better team, or just, in the case of San Antonio, like you can play with Wemby. Like you might not be playing for a definite playoff team right now, but think about all the ESPN games Wemby's going to have. And if Malik is part of building similar to what he just did here in Sacramento, if he can build something with Wemby in San Antonio, the amount of media that or just not necessarily media, but attention that'll get Malik personally, instead of being a 6-man, he'll be somebody who's viewed as a starter on that team or as a really, really key contributor. There's just a lot of other factors out there that are probably going to pull Malik really close to going away. But the Kings just really have to rely on the fact that we're building something, and, it would be a really devastating blow if he were to leave. And so all those other situations, they might value him now, but Sacramento knows exactly what they Sacramento knows that they need Malik Monk.
Yeah.
And maybe that will be something that's enticing to him, just knowing, hey, these guys are probably going to have my back no matter what. And if those situations fail, I went to go get my bread, but they might not treat me the same.
Yeah. And it really just comes down to how different the offers are.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a small part of me that thinks, well, obviously you wanted to see Malik Monk in the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
Of course. But if you probably weren't winning the whole thing this year anyway, if Malik Monk gets into the playoffs, and we know we're not hiding Malik Monk.
Sure.
Everybody, he's gonna win sixth man of the year, but
that price could go up.
That price, if he balled out in the
Right.
playoffs, then you could just say goodbye.
Right.
At least now there's a chance. If he balled out in the playoffs, I don't think there was a chance because it just would have driven up the.
That's an interesting point. No, you're not. That's totally fair, especially when you look at a team like Orlando or like Philadelphia, who might look at him in the playoffs and say, "Oh, this dude's like a big game player."
Yeah,
and that's somebody that we desperately. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. We need a guy like that in our building.
So at least now you still have a chance.
That's a good point.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Rob, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Rob? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, so I'm definitely thinking a lot about exactly what you're talking about with Monk. Let me ask, can I ask like one question and then ask the big question?
Sure.
So what do you guys, Philly's got a ton of money. We just talked about Philly.
Yeah.
I look at it with Monk, like 4 teams, Orlando, Philly, Spurs, Pistons, right? Yeah. With Philly, you guys just spelled it out a little bit. They've got to re-sign Maxey. So is he a max player? Is he going to get 35 or 40 million? If he gets 35 or 40, if he gets 40 million, that's only like 19 million in cap space to deal with re-signing Melton, Korkmaz, and Harris. And then do they want to go after Monk? So that's out. And, it's like, I'm not saying it's out, but I mean, they got to make big decisions. And I mean, I can't see them signing one guy over trying to sign, a team,
an entire team. Exactly.
And then you look at the Spurs, and you got Wemby. Playing next to Wemby would be great, but they're another 1 to 3 years out from doing damage. In the Western Conference, adding Monk to Wemby would be phenomenally fun to watch. But does that get them into the playoffs? And does Monk want to wait 2 or 3 years to build that, or does he want to take a shot now?
Right.
And if they're going to offer him 20, 25 million, is that extra 5 to 7 million a year going to be enough for Monk to sit on a team that's not winning?
Right.
Versus, you win now, and if we sign Monk for 2 years and give him a player option in that second year, it's not like the wink deal. It's like, keep doing what you're doing, and then we'll negotiate this next year because we'll have your bird rights, and we can dip into our luxury tax to pay you what you're worth. And I mean that is a big gamble, But part of me is asking the big question. That's why I called it to see what you guys think. Do we think Monk is going to be one of those guys who puts winning above things, other things? I kind of think that's who he is. He's a competitor. Yeah. He wants to win. Then you add his relationships with the guys on the team. You look at what he's looking for first, because he's worth that money. But at the same time, are you going to go to the Pistons? No, I don't think Pistons are in conversation. I think my biggest worry is Orlando. They don't have the money. They don't have the players that they need to worry about re-signing. So do you build a team around him and Paolo?
Right.
I mean,
and you're spot on, Rob. I mean, there's a lot of, thanks for the call as well. We're up against it. There's a lot of options out there for Malik Monk. The bottom line is everybody's got a price, right? So it's not that everybody does like winning. It's a matter of how much do you like winning. And the issue also is that's why in Anthony Slater's article, he also talked about that himself, winning. But the question is, where do you see the Kings, right? If you take off your purple glasses, right? Where do you see the Kings as far as their path compared to the other teams out there, not just in the West, but also in the East. When we return, continuing the Malik conversation, more of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
It's Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you want a deal that's a slam dunk, go see the winning team at Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is your truck headquarters with all your American-made favorites, like America's best-selling F-Series, F-150s, and Super Duties, or spacious new Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. In the Folsom Auto Mall, you can buy any new Ford with zero down on approved credit, save big with low interest finance rates, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Check out the huge selection of inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership to see their most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. They'll help you out. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 35 years and counting.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Here's De'Aaron Fox on the left angle for the Kings. Changes directions, drives right, kicks it out on top. Uncovered, Keegan Murray. Score the triple. Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes have each made 5 3-pointers in this game. They are a combined 10 for 17 from downtown. Each has now scored 23 points.
that was a much healthier Keegan Murray than the one we heard against Dallas. That was one of the saddest Keegan Murray chants I've ever heard in my life.
Keegan Murray.
As people were just walking out.
Yeah, exactly.
just leaving. But the Kings turn it around, and they get a much-needed win against the Jazz. And we're breaking down all things Malik Monk, who is out and will be out unless the Kings make it to the Western Conference Finals. So do with that what you will. And Malik Monk, who has been just so important to this team throughout the season, not having him is quite the blow. And Chris Watkins thinks that he will return, or I guess thinks and hopes he will
Mainly
return.
hopes.
But Chris, if we're looking at this just from the logistics, do you just think that it's the difference is going to be 17 million versus 22 million? Because when we had someone call in and say, hey, how much does somebody want to win versus the money? The question is the number. The question is 17 versus 20. Okay. And I get to play with my boys. I get to play with De'Aaron. I get to get coached by somebody I really like and believes in me in Mike Brown. 17 to 20. Sure. You get to 20. You get past
22,
20.
25. That's when the balance starts to lean towards the other way. And then that's where the other factors also start to kick in. I mean, again, we've had the conversation all year. Is Malik starting? Is it a big part of the negotiation? How much does he actually care about that? Again, you referenced the Slater article. He says in that article that he does want to start, but he understands what's best for the team, or maybe not even understands, but is willing to accept it because that's just the way it is. And he's just trying to win games, and anything that coach says to win games, he will do. Orlando again can offer him possibly a starting spot next to Jalen Suggs. Orlando's a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're just as young, if not younger, than Sacramento is. You're in Florida. There's just a lot of things that work in his favor for that one. And it's just tough. I mean, he's got, it's truly up to Malik. There's going to be a lot of things that make sense one way or another. And at the end of the day, he's put himself in a situation to have as many great offers that offer different things for him, whatever it's going to truly be, whatever Malik cares about. I mean, if he wants to rise his star, there's going to be an option for that. If he's looking to contend and be a starter on a winning team, there's something there for that. If he wants to be, and I don't want to romanticize the Kings more than maybe what it is, but if he wants to truly possibly build something special from the ground up, he could stay here in Sacramento. And I do think that people might undervalue how important that is, that he is a part of the building of this. He saw the Beam team rise from the start. He understands how, it's the evil you do know against the evil you don't know. A lot of people will take the situation that they at least understand versus complete and utter chaos, which could end up in something good, but it could also end his career in totality. Malik has talked a lot this year and a little bit last year, but a lot this season about how, he thinks about how close he was to not being in the NBA. He was, going through some stuff off the floor. Charlotte, he felt like wasn't giving him a good opportunity. He hits free agency and nobody offers him anything. So he signs with the Lakers for a cheap deal. He might just say, again, these guys bet on me early and I appreciate that. And I recognize that. And that's really what matters to me. So again, we can, try and guess what Malik's going to do. But at the end of the day, it is truly all in Malik Monk's hands. And it's going to be up to him to decide what path he wants to take.
Yeah, I want to believe that he'll stay. But if you just look at the numbers and you look at how good he's been this season, that there are going to be a lot of other teams that are interested. And ultimately, the decision is Malik's, and what he not believes in, but kind of in a way. Yeah. And how much does he believe in this team? How close? Sure. And that's why I know the Kings are in a weird spot, because I know how important it is to let Malik know, hey, you're our guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they also need to show Malik that they are good enough to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Right.
So as you're also talking to Malik, but at the same time, you're saying, hey, these are the other moves that we're planning on making, because I don't think Malik wants to run that. What we're seeing right now, you can't run that back.
Absolutely not.
You cannot run that back.
No, absolutely not. So, yeah, and I think you talked about that last week. Do you need to make a deal before you even get to the negotiation table with Malik for what you just described, to show him, hey, no, we're not just running it back. Hey, we're not cutting corners here. We're going to really try and make a push for this thing. And here's a prime example of it. Come continue to build upon this. We're not just, stagnating. We're really trying to build upward. We'll see. I mean, I think something definitely like that's going to have to be done. But even again, in the immediate, they could do themselves a lot of favors by showing out right now, by showing Malik, hey, there is something here. Keegan's growth. I mean, if Keegan averages 20 points the rest of this season, wouldn't that excite Malik Monk to come back and say, just like we just talked about, oh my God, it looks like Keegan did finally take that leap. Now imagine if we had this version of Keegan Murray from the start of this year, or at least at the start of next year, and you have Malik Monk. What does that mean for this team? The Kings can still do themselves a lot of favors at the negotiation table by showing out right now. Even Keon Ellis, that can be a piece where it's like, hey, Malik, look at this guy that we just found on the cheap. He's going to be, he's going to be the defender that you're going to have next to you for the next 3-4 years if you resign.
Yeah. And the thing is, if all you're missing is a wing defender, you can find that, right? You can, clearly it's not as easy as we think, because the Kings haven't found it. And
everybody else seems to have.
Well, that might be Keegan Murray, but you just need another guy that you can throw out there. You find a guy like that and you say, look, Malik, our defense, you see what we're doing here. You see the guys that are taking a leap. Get into the playoffs. If they get into the playoffs, I think that bodes very well for Malik staying. But a quick out, even without Malik, he might sit there and say, I mean,
I can do that anywhere.
I can
go
do that anywhere.
I
can literally go do that in San Antonio with a generational player in Victor Wembanyama. This is from Zeusman65 on the Sack Chat. Shout out to the Sack Chat, by the way. Not sure why you think the Kings are building a winner. They just don't have a guy. Luka, Shea, Giannis, Jokic, those are guys, not Fox and Sabonis. That is 12 p.m. is when we will have that conversation about De'Aaron Fox and where you would put him in that group, and can he still get there, or can he not? I think that what I've seen, Chris, as far as Kings fans and how they feel about De'Aaron, I don't know that everybody's convinced, but that's at 12 p.m. When we return, continuing the conversation on Malik Monk, also hearing from Mike Brown as well, and we talk Sasha and Trey's return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The final game of the homestand concludes Tuesday as the Los Angeles Clippers pay a visit to Golden One Center and the Sacramento Kings.
It's fourth quarter Fox time. He's doubled, throws a pass cross court to Keegan, steps to his left, launches a three. He's got the triple. It's the fourth one from downtown in 5 attempts by Keegan Murray. And the Kings have tied it at 101.
Catch all the play-by-play starting at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Timeshare trap and think there's no way out. Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement, then it's a lifetime commitment. If you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshare. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk. With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
If you're in the market for a new or used car right now, or if you just want to go see like what new technologies in the new cars nowadays, stop by and see my friends at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall before you go anywhere else. As soon as you step onto the lot, you're going to feel like family. You're going to know why they have so many 5-star reviews at Elk Grove Kia and why they're the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer. Like, I love this 5-star review right here. Quote, "I could not be happier. My husband surprised me with my new Telluride. I love it. The staff is friendly, kind, and conscious. Took their time to find the perfect car. Thank you guys for the hard work. Great job. I love my new Telly." There you go. That's just another satisfied customer at Elk Grove Kia. So in addition to all the 5-star reviews, the finance team at Elk Grove Kia has over 100 years combined experience. You know what that means? Financing for everyone. And we know going to the car dealership can be overwhelming, but come experience Elk Grove Kia. They go above and beyond to make sure this is an automotive adventure for you. Check out what's on special and what's on the lot today at elkgrovekia.com, or better yet, come see everything in person at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Is De'Aaron the guy? I really think that he is on his way. The problem is you're looking at different guys throughout the Western Conference that are generational. And I don't know that De'Aaron Fox is generational. I was going back and forth, Chris, with one of my follower on social media, but obviously they've been following me from my time in the Bay. So, you know, I posted this weekend and I was just talking about the path for the Kings and how if you look big picture, because I was down bad. I mean, you alluded to it as well. I think we all did a double take and just thought to ourselves, did that really happen last night when Malik went down? And it took a little bit to kind of put things in perspective. And I had somebody, you know, comment and say, Well, Steve Kerr came in and won immediately. And I said, and they asked me if anything was wrong with my memory and how I didn't remember if I forgot that Steve Kerr came in and flipped it. And I said, my memory is actually incredible. Is everything good with your memory? Because you just ignored Mark Jackson's years and the Warriors unable to get over the hump,
right?
And Steve Kerr coming in, and a lot of people didn't even want to give Steve Kerr credit,
right,
for getting over the hump, and to say Mark Jones kind of deserves, or Jackson deserves that
Mark
ring
Jones
too.
deserves all the credit,
Mark Jones always deserves credit. How did the fish grease?
That's right.
So it was a tough day. It's been a tough weekend for the Kings, but if you look at it big picture, it could be worse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mike Brown has been talking to us for a while now. It feels like for the past month and a half about how this is a process, and they're still only in year 2 of the process. It could definitely be a lot worse. You could have Malik is definitely a star on this team, but you could have one of Fox and Sabonis out, and then really see how screwed you could be without one of those guys. Though you would hope Malik would be somebody who would step up in that situation. I mean, it's unfortunate that they're here, but at the same time, there will be learning lessons along the way. And we've talked about it. We talked about it last week. Even if this season is however it ends, there are still positives to take out of this year. And as we just talked about in a couple segments ago, you could still have a chance to take another major positive away from this. Even if, the Kings do only make it into the play-in and maybe they win one of the play-in games, maybe they don't. Who cares? Not who cares. It definitely matters, but you can still have major things that are building towards something in the future. And, again, you said it earlier, this team was not going to win a championship this season. And so what can you take to get closer and closer and closer to that? That's what this season was always going to be about. But especially now, this is a great opportunity you don't dip your toe in anymore. This is go all the way in and see, is Kessler Edwards anything from is Kessler Edwards a guy that we want on this roster to can Keegan Murray be a potential 1 or number 2 starter on this team? All of those questions and all in between. Alex Len's future on this team. What does Davion Mitchell, who's going to be, I think his contract's up at the end of this year, what are they going to do with that situation? Sasha, is that something that you want to move on from? There's still tons that you can learn from this season, and there's still a lot of positives that you can learn. And, the season's still not over. They still can win that play-in situation. They still can get a favorable 2-7 matchup in that case and play maybe the Timberwolves or OKC like we've been asking for all year. So it might not look pretty, but at the same time, things could still fall in the Kings' direction, and we can still feel really good about how the year went.
916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to the phone lines, and Rich wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Rich? What you got for us?
Hey guys, I guess good morning. Good conversation. I had a couple of thoughts about Monk and just a couple of side issues. One, I don't think Monk, the idea whether Sacramento makes moves is the preeminent determinant. I think money. He took a gamble and he could sign with other clubs. I think Sac is limited by the amount of money, and I heard that he could be offered as much as $25 million versus 17 or 18 from Sac. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard even on your network. The other thing is that Monk wants to start. Mike Brown, for all his good coaching, is a very obstinate guy. He started Kevin Huerter when he was playing terribly. In other words, it looks like Mike fills out his play card. Whether it was like he had this obsession with Kevin Huerter that continued through the playoffs last year when Huerter stuck up the court, and he still stuck with him. So I have a problem with the way Mike Brown is dealing with his personnel big time. So I think if Monk does not start, if he's offered a starting role and more money, why wouldn't he go to another team? That's just a couple of ideas. The other thing I wanted to add was just a side note that nobody talks about is that the Kings had Dante DiVincenzo on their roster. They made a big deal for trading for Kevin Huerter. Who's playing better now, Dante or Kevin Huerter? They had him on the roster, and they let him go. So, I mean, again, we're doing a lot better as an organization, but there's a lot to be desired in the way that Mike manages his personnel. Anyway, that's what I have to add.
Thanks for the call, Rich. Dante DiVincenzo, and you can speak to it probably better than I can. His time in Sacramento was a bit confusing, but let's not forget Dante DiVincenzo was on the Warriors prior to the Knicks, and he was not very good.
Yeah,
I mean, he was okay. He was a defense. He was supposed to be a defensive guy. Yeah. He was not shooting like this. So Dante DiVincenzo now as a volume shooter, part of that is because the Knicks aren't very good on offense.
No other offensive options.
So I don't know that you want that, right? If and this is no disrespect to Dante. If Dante DiVincenzo, our teams around the league saying, I want a guy like Dante DiVincenzo to take 15 threes a game.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No, they're not. No.
I don't think so. That's based on that's based on the injuries that they have with Randall being out. Yep. So I understand that Kevin Huerter had it wasn't a good season. It wasn't good. He was coming off a career season.
Yeah.
So those two differences, it's like when you leave a sauna. It feels really cold outside because you were just in a hot sauna. So Kevin Huerter to do what he did last season and then be so different this season, that's why it's a real sucker punch.
Shock to the system.
Exactly. Yeah. But he's probably realistically somewhere in the middle of last season and this season. Yeah. That's probably what Kevin Huerter is. Yeah. And Dante DiVincenzo, he's having a good season as well. Mm-hmm. But who played better last season? Kevin Huerter or Dante DiVincenzo?
Absolutely.
So I hear it, but I'm not going to overreact because Dante DiVincenzo is chucking up a bunch of threes in New York because they don't have anybody else. Josh Hart can't buy a bucket. He's a rebounder. He's a rebounding guard. Okay, you got Hartenstein, who they're more known for their podcast and talking about his nationality than doing anything offensively. So I hear what you're saying on the Monk stuff, and I will say this though, Malik Monk, and we've talked about it. There are things that maybe come from up top, whether it's Vivek or whoever. Malik Monk has to start next season.
More than likely.
So more than likely, because if I'm going to sit on the bench, I'm going to sit on the bench for the Bucks, or I'm going to sit on the bench for a true contender. I'm not going to sit on the bench for a team that's fighting to stay out of the play.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. He's got to look out for himself too. And Malik has let it known he wants to start. Who knows if it'll end up being the end-all, be-all, but absolutely, especially when other teams can offer him that starting spot, it's be kind of tough for the Kings to go into those negotiations and just say, look, Mike Brown has let his feelings known. He doesn't want you to start. That could really be something as small as that could end up being the difference. I would imagine that the Kings would be willing to budge on it.
I'll tell you this much, and we'll get into more of this when we return, but not only is Malik Monk needed on the court, he's also needed off the court.
Absolutely.
And I will explain, and Chris will chime in as well when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
They said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible. But mark my words, I did it with Kohl's. That's right. I got everything I needed for my spring home refresh in one trip. I'm talking Sonoma Goods for Life bedding for 20% off, and Espresso Virtual Plus Deluxe for 30% off, Cuisinart cookware sets for 35% off, and Sonoma Goods for Life decor for 20% off. So if you want to get set for the season and save big, you can do it all at Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Espresso and Cuisinart coupons do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? And you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey guys, do you know your T level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Welcome to the April Adventures sales event at Kia Vacaville, where they're ushering a new season with unbeatable lease options for their 2024 lineup. As April blooms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to discover the thrill of driving a Kia, featuring the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. During April Adventures, Kia Vacaville is excited to unveil their top models with irresistible lease offers. Feel the exhilaration of the all-new Kia Sportage, blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Experience the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid wonder that stretches your adventures further. And don't miss out on the chance to boost your journeys with the luxurious comfort and practicality of the Kia Telluride. Available now at Kia Vacaville. Embrace the look of spring with their eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, tailored for those who seek efficiency without sacrificing style, with the EV9 in stock. Kia Vacaville is your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. For more details, visit Kia Vacaville and embark on your April adventure today.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Domantas Sabonis is one of 4 players. This is from NBA history. Sabonis is one of 4 players since 1980-1981 season to record 70 or more double-doubles in a season. Kevin Garnett, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, and Domantas Sabonis.
That's insane.
Not an all-star, though.
Not an all-star. Hopefully, he better be all NBA. I haven't done the list in my head yet, but I mean, yeah, I know like obviously a ton of people have been canceled out because of the 65 game thing, but if he's not an all NBA, then I don't know. I don't know what we need to do, but we need to form some sort of protest.
Yeah. I mean, the all-star was bad enough, but I think he will be all NBA, and he deserves to be with the crazy numbers that he's putting up as we discuss all things Kings. Also, Malik Monk. Malik Monk, let's say he does walk.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the toughest loss from a roster's perspective since who, if you're a Kings fan?
I mean, there's not even really a comparison. I mean, I guess you can say depending on your feelings, like it's since DeMarcus left. Like in terms of impact, you could say emotionally, maybe Bogdanovich, people had some good feelings for. I love Bogey, but I mean, this Kings team has been bad for so long. Like it's tough to say the last time the Kings had an impact, somebody who impacted winning as much as Malik does for their Kings winning situation. I mean, it's the biggest names in the franchise, really. I mean, this would be a huge blow to the Kings, and the Kings really don't get a lot of players in via free agency. So to finally get a really good deal on a player, they only got him in here for $9.5 million a year. To then, lose him, that would just it'd be devastating, because you don't luck into guys like that with this organization, and to lose him would just be, it'd be backbreaking. Maybe Isaiah Thomas. I would say maybe Isaiah Thomas leaving would probably be the last time it was this big.
The thing about Malik Monk is he is a great soundbite as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about marketability and being in Sacramento, and De'Aaron Fox, he's made it very well known how he feels about media availability. He does it cool, right? He's not on a lot of podcasts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're already in Sacramento. Sabonis just kind of wants to kick it in Napa and chill with his family. Malik Monk is not only on the court, but off the court, really the most captivating player on the Kings.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That's why, to me, it would also hurt. And I think, specifically being in Sacramento, Vivek would really like for Malik to stay, not just for what he does on the court, but off the court. He just brings something that the Kings don't really have.
Yeah.
And whenever we say, okay, well, they're pretty even keel and they're a pretty chill team, and you got, Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray, they're just super low key. And then we always finish that statement saying, besides Malik, because Malik wears his heart on his sleeves, and you know who Malik is. Losing him would be brutal, man.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, because you're right. Everybody else is so, I think low key is the right word. They're very, I don't want to say Malik's not professional, but like, they're just very like, hey, I'm here to do my job. I don't really care about anything else. I'm not really going to show out personality wise or anything like that. Malik can't help it. He just oozes charisma.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like if the Kings ever do get big, like if we're talking them being the top 3 seed perennially, Malik's going to probably be the guy that they're going to throw in front of a lot of cameras, and he's going to give great quotes. Even, Chris Biederman we were talking yesterday. He was at the game. He was like, I'm going to miss Malik's quotes. He was the best quote on the team, as somebody who, went on the road and followed these guys. Those are the kind of things that it's like, you get blown out by 20 on the road and you don't have a lot of energy for 3 people to talk in a press conference. Small things like that really matter. And, I think you're totally right. Malik is arguably the most valuable off the floor asset to this team that they have. Of course, De'Aaron has the potential for his star to rise. He's got the deal with Under Armour, and he's definitely the most well known. But Malik, personality wise, is a star waiting to happen.
Yeah, and it's been a long road for Malik, and he's finally gotten back to, I think, where people thought he'd be when he initially got drafted, and he wants to cash in on that. No pun intended. The question is, does he want to do that with the Kings or elsewhere?
Right.
And the difference in bags. But he's got on the collab shirts,
Right.
and
and
the hoodies,
he does
and the jackets.
New York Fashion Week, all that stuff.
You would think. I just caution people, because even when someone says they love somewhere, these guys have been
Money talks.
around.
Yeah.
These guys have been around. They can convince themselves to like anywhere with enough money.
So how would you power rank the brands that maybe are attacking Malik? If we just look at this from Malik is, again, like we said, like maybe he's looking to build his star more. He feels like he had a big name in college. He had to kind of grind it out to get back to a spot where he could be put into the spotlight. Now's an opportunity to get thrust into that spotlight. How do we feel about the options? I mean, Philadelphia just in general.
But Malik is confusing, because I guess the word is that he didn't like
that's right.
being in LA.
He likes the slower pace.
Right. So he's a bit confusing, because obviously those markets are bigger, but I don't know whether or not he wants a big market.
Right. Yeah. Maybe not as big as LA. LA is also like LA and New York. Those, he probably didn't appreciate how it just felt like every game is the most important thing in the world. And, I just wonder if, again, like San Antonio might on the surface might not seem like it's a bigger market or bigger market opportunity than Sacramento. But then when you bring in the attention that Wemby brings in, does that set it over the top? Orlando, that's a pretty boring situation. Like, I don't know how many people are really checking for the Orlando Magic. I don't know if NBA Today honestly might cover the Kings more than they cover the Magic. So that might be a situation where, again, if it's 22 million versus 17, it might just make more sense for Malik to stay here. Philadelphia is kind of a tough one where they might not be able to offer him the most money, but Philadelphia is probably the biggest market. You're playing with an MVP, but you're always going to be still the third fiddle. There's no way Malik Monk is going to rise above Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid. So I don't know. It's just interesting from if I am truly trying to build out my star or capitalize on this opportunity as much as possible, in a weird way, maybe San Antonio is the best option. Like, it's kind of weird, but I don't know where the Kings would fall on that list.
916-339-1140. Let's get to the phone lines. TC wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Stiles, Watkins, what's going on? We needed that win last night bad.
Needed it, man.
Bro, we needed that one bad, though. But at the same, hey, you know what? I love Malik. Malik's my dog, man. I got a statement Malik. Was wearing it last night, watching the game. But just in general, me personally, I don't think we'll lose Malik, bro. But if things hit the fan and Malik was like, you know what, bro, I'm going to take some dollars, I'm going to get out of here or whatever, which I truly, I'm not just my purple lenses, but I truly think that he's not leaving, bro. But if he did, I believe we can make up with that, man. We hit with Keon. We can bring Duarte back, bro, and we can just who knows? Because y'all see like the free agents that's like Paul George, like people that this summer. That's what I'm saying. Like Kings fans is tripping right now, bro. Take a seat back. Listen, this is gonna be a special ride, but money's he can make fireworks just all season. We can sign people like Paul George. Like it's names that we can go get this season. Malik can come back, bro. I don't want this to come off like I'm poo-pooing on Malik, saying Malik is whatever we can be, because that'd be brutal, bro. Like you said earlier, if we lose him, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Just like it's not the end of the world this season. I promise you, the bench, everybody's gonna step up, bro, in this playoff run. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Thanks for the call, TC, as always. Well, and also, I don't know how much. I know market size matters, but again, if you are not in New York or you are not in LA, and Malik's already done LA. Nowadays, I mean, we talk about Zoom and podcasting and all this stuff. The opportunities, if you want to make your brand, the opportunities are really endless these days. So I don't know, and this is less about Malik and more about just free agents in general. I don't know that people are necessarily saying, oh, I can't wait to go to Sacramento. But at the same time, I would also say that I don't know how much current players are bugged by that or where Sacramento falls compared to other quote unquote small markets. At least you're in California, you get California weather, you don't got to deal with winters. So on the list of small markets, I think Sacramento is towards the top of the list.
It could be. We haven't had the luxury of finding out really because we've been bad for so long that that's kind of been the ultimate, like, doesn't matter how nice it is, I'm not figuring it, or I'm not staying over there. So this could be, to TC's point, like maybe this could be the offseason where maybe things change because the Kings do start to have a winning situation. And like you just laid out, maybe brand exposure or location isn't as crucial to brand exposure as it was before. And people can just pick basketball situations like they do in football. People go to the Green Bay Packers
all the time.
Okay, so maybe basketball can start.
And they
to
play outside.
Exactly. So if you can get over that, I mean, realistically, maybe the NBA is shifting more to where, like you're describing, you know, it plays an impact, but it might not be. It's not the end all be all like it was, you know, even as close as like 10, 15 years ago.
Pocket watching when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The final game of the homestand concludes Tuesday as the Los Angeles Clippers pay a visit to Golden One Center and the Sacramento Kings.
Sabonis rolling in the paint, eludes the defender, and a two-hand flush is thrown down off the dribble.
Catch all the play-by-play starting at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Join Alan Stiles, Chris Watkins, and the Sactown Sports Street Team on Monday, April 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouth-watering full menu. 1310 Fulton Avenue. See.
What do you mean?
You know, some live takes, anything like that?
Sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. I thought you meant like we need to go out there and, you know, I honestly don't know, like maybe do the return of Ace Sizzle or something. I was like, what are you talking?
That's
like,
right.
are we gonna?
That's
You know,
right.
we got a tent
Fieldhouse
and stuff. We
will be there Monday.
centralize
Fieldhouse for the national championship
next Monday, obviously.
Next Monday, yes. So we will definitely get everybody pumped for that. And if you show up, maybe you'll see Ace Sizzle pop up.
Or maybe we can do like, you've seen the meme of like that kid who's sitting on the college campus and it's like has a take and like argue with just sit down and argue with me. Just pick one of your hot takes and say argue with me right
just
now.
Argue with me or argue with us.
3 minutes in the cage.
831 on the text line 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. 831. If Malik ends up signing elsewhere, who would be the top 5 potential candidates for the Kings to go after. I mean, number one, I know people are after Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite know how the Paul George thing would arise. I don't think he's a free agent. Maybe he is, but on the free agent list I'm looking at, he's not a free agent. So I don't know if that would have to be via trade.
No, that
or
would
if he
definitely
have
be
to opt
trade.
out.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. That then brings up the age-old question that we hate to ask of, okay, if the Kings are going to trade for a guy like Paul George, what are they giving up?
You know what they're giving up.
Well, what
you
would
know
be
what
left?
they're giving up.
What would be left?
You know what they're giving up.
Reliable. It's just like Mike Brown said, there's really not a ton of potential replacements from the free agent list I'm looking at. You have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who is not the same player as Malik Monk. We're not doing the Buddy Hield thing again. I honestly think that the answer is, and I think it would have been the answer had Malik gotten hurt a little earlier in the season. I think you need to change your identity. Like, I think if Malik Monk leaves, it's kind of that's a big enough rip to the system to maybe reevaluate things, because Malik comes in and he's this big scoring punch. You're not going to be able to take that unless you get a Jordan Clarkson or somebody who just does that already in their career. I think you might have to, just for example, the Kings would ideally bring other people in, but if Kessler Edwards is going to be the guy that's getting Malik Monk minutes, you just become more of a defensive team, and maybe you rely a little bit less on offense, a little bit less on shooting, and you become more of the team that Mike Brown's been clamoring for these past couple of years, and become more defensive and maybe, take more risks and shoot even more threes than you are now, and just kind of maybe play more. You're not going to go full Knicks, but maybe you just play a differing style. That could be another example, is like the Knicks.
I'm on hoopshype.com,
Yeah.
and this is from February, and they have a list, and they're obviously guys that are going to resign. Tyrese Maxey is number 1. Paul George has a player option.
Interesting.
So there's that. LeBron has a player option.
Get him.
King of Kings.
Get him.
There you go. Pascal Siakam, who already said he's going to return. Right. I guess that was why they did the deal. OG Anunoby, player option. James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Tobias Harris. So the Bulls are going to lose DeMar DeRozan for nothing after all that?
Yep. After all that. That's why it was.
Wow.
That's why everyone was so curious as to why Chicago did nothing at the deadline.
Drew Holiday, player option.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges as well. But we have time for that. We have time for that. And hopefully this is all a moot point because Malik Monk stays.
That's right.
916-339-1140. Let's get out to Mike, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Mike? What you got for us?
Hey, you guys are producing an awesome show. It's great to listen to.
Thank you.
I personally like Malik Monk. The chemistry and the unity the team has right now, I really wouldn't want to see that disrupted. But I would give Malik a year deal, come off the bench. Let's see what you got. You got enough rope to pull yourself up, or you got enough rope to hang yourself. Show us what you got. The other part, I love Keon Ellis because the middle name is just relentless. That guy is coming up right now, and I'd hate to let him go. But if you can get somebody who will add to the team, obviously, that is a hell of an option. But people complain about Coach Brown. He has got the chemistry. He's got the all-star mentality, and he's got the pedigree for what it takes to put a championship team together. With the changing of coaches in the past few years, they have found a great coach. It just reminded me of a halfway house with foster parents with all these other coaches. Nobody knew what they were getting next. But I think they're on the right track, but there might be a piece that we could add to make this team even better.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah, the Mike Brown piece of this is something that shouldn't be glossed over. I mean, it looks like you found your guy, even though there are fans out there that want him to
That's right. Get Brown
be
out
better,
of town.
get Brown out of town and things like that. But that's where everything starts.
Yeah.
And somebody that's been around, even when you're looking at free agents, right?
Totally.
How being a player's coach, I think, is a big part of this. And as funny as it is, but that meme with the laptop and getting fined and things like that, I would assume that other players see that and think that's a dude who goes to bat for his guys.
Yeah.
And that's somebody that I would want to play for. I mean, the dude is, even as an assistant coach or as a head coach, LeBron James, Steph Curry, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So I think you put that on top of how being marketable isn't as difficult in small markets these days and the California weather. I think that this offseason is going to be fun. We're not there yet, but I do think it's going to be more fun than people realize.
Yeah, definitely. And to add to the Sacramento's value as a market too, I think Malik has talked about it before. It's like the perfect balance of both because, it's you really focus on ball here. Like, there is stuff to do for sure. Malik's taking up golfing and things like that you can hang out with rich people if you like or whatever. But at the same time, it's not constant, like we just talked about New York and LA, constant pressure, constant asking of, why aren't you guys winning? What? Oh my God, blow up the team, all that stuff. That noise isn't that loud here. It still exists, of course, but it's not every single day, all in their, everything they post on social media is just flooded with negativity. I think you get a good balance of guys who really do love basketball. You can't just love Ben Simmons, love to be an NBA player. You don't get all the perks of being famous here. Here is about, hey, if you play great basketball, you will be appreciated. If you bring something to the floor, Sacramento fans will appreciate everything about you. And all we ask in return is that you give that love and appreciation back. And I think that's what's made the Malik Monk connection so special is I think he's really enjoyed the quieter nature of here. And at the same time, he gets the focus on ball. And I think everybody has properly appreciated him here. You've said, he's your favorite player. I definitely think he's a lot of people's favorite player. I think in general, he's just the Kings' most exciting player. It feels like Sacramento is fully ready to embrace Malik Monk as a home place for him. It's just a matter of if Malik wants to accept Sacramento as his home.
When we get back, Sasha and Trey Lyles returns. How far can the Kings go without Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
If you're in the market for a new or used car right now, or if you just want to go see what new technology's in the new cars nowadays, stop by and see my friends at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall before you go anywhere else. As soon as you step onto the lot, you're going to feel like family. You're going to know why they have so many 5-star reviews at Elk Grove Kia and why they're the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer. Like, I love this 5-star review right here. Quote, I could not be happier. My husband surprised me with my new Telluride. I love it. The staff is friendly, kind, and conscious. Took their time to find the perfect car. Thank you guys for the hard work. Great job. I love my new Telly. There you go. That's just another satisfied customer at Elk Grove Kia. So in addition to all the 5-star reviews, the finance team at Elk Grove Kia has over 100 years combined experience. You know what that means? Financing for everyone. And we know going to the car dealership can be overwhelming, but come experience Elk Grove Kia. They go above and beyond to make sure this is an automotive adventure for you. Check out what's on special and what's on the lot today at elkgrovekia.com, or better yet, come see everything in person at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support could be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Fitty and Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
It's just so hard. I got to be honest here. It is really hard. It is, but it isn't, to not do the off-season talk thing. It's hard. And it shouldn't be hard.
Man. There's still 8 games
I know,
left.
it shouldn't be hard. But it's just Ricky Bobby. It's just if you're not first, you're last.
Why you always hating? You gotta enjoy the process.
I'm trying not to.
You know, like Rome wasn't built in a day. And,
It wasn't.
You know, you gotta. It's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets better too. I mean, you know, they're gonna go through some heartbreaking losses, and you know, this is just unfortunately a really bad mark of the journey. I just think this season is. This is definitely the cherry on top of what has been just an incredibly frustrating season. You know, I think that this is definitely, as you said earlier, all the sign we need that we can't run this situation back. I think this team needs to come back better and different than they were this year. And, you know, ultimately, again, it'll still be decided if they can turn something positive out of this year. I think expectations have definitely changed, which is interesting. Right. Now, I think winning a play-in game and making a 7 seed or, you know, winning a playoff game or two would be viewed as pretty successful from where they're at, from where they're standing right now. So I think there still is hope that they can turn something positive into this year. But absolutely, you know, the season's almost over. So I understand why it feels like we can start to move on to next year, but season's not completely cooked yet. So I'm still reserving a little bit of hope that they can make something out of this year.
From the 916, Monk injury fits the vibe of this season. If he went down last season, it would have felt worse. Now it's just like, oh yeah, we're still the Kings. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, I think Dave has been tweeting it out, but like clearly God hates Sacramento. It's very clear that like for whatever reason we can't have nice things. Don't know why it is. It's always been that way, but things just can never just go swimmingly. You know, I know a lot of people last year threw in the Kings' face that they were, oh, you guys were so lucky, you were so healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a bit overblown, but at the same time, I think that if this is what unlucky looks like, then yeah, for sure. Because it's felt like everything all year, the ups and downs of the shooting, all that was one thing. But then to end the year with Malik and Kevin Huerter both going down, that it's just brutal. I mean, it just feels like that's going to push the Kings to their limit. This is the ultimate test of, can you guys stay afloat without these two really important pieces of what changed you guys?
I think the health thing also is a representation of people not believing in the Kings, right? Whether it's Sabonis and hating on Sabonis, whether it's De'Aaron Fox, which we will have a deeper conversation on De'Aaron Fox at 12, because I'm not hearing any of that about the Thunder. Nobody is saying how lucky the Thunder have been with injuries or any of the top teams that haven't dealt with, well, the T-Wolves don't have Karl Anthony Towns, but where is that talk with the Thunder? And I think it's because people believe that the Thunder are legit.
Mm-hmm.
It feels, basically it's fluky.
Yeah.
Basically last year people are saying was a fluke for the Kings.
Yeah.
But this
They
year
said it
for
at
the
the time,
Thunder
too.
isn't a fluke because they believe in Shea.
Yeah.
And because they believe in who the Thunder have compared to what the Kings did. Sabonis can't do anything in the playoffs, and De'Aaron Fox, I don't think he's that guy. So people had to explain why the Kings did what they did last season, but nobody needs to explain what the Thunder are doing, apparently.
Right. No, I mean, well, I would agree. I would say they don't, because like Thunder built up to this. The Thunder were a 10 seed, or either 11 or a 10 seed last year, and they didn't have Chet Holmgren the entire season. And then you get Chet Holmgren to play every single game this year. He's been the rookie of the year. Victor Wembanyama doesn't exist. So, you know, that's a really big addition. And then you just add the fact that all those guys get better. The Kings jump really did come out of nowhere. And so there was justification for it being a fluke. And I think this year has definitely given that a little bit of fuel, but I still think that the Kings have been really impressive. Like the fact that they still are 11 game. What are they? Yeah. 12 games above 500, you know, with the roster that everyone said was not really worthy of even making noise. I think even though the fact that they are the 8 seed right now, this has been a really tough Western Conference. And I don't know if many people expected the Kings to fight or to be in it as much as they've been all season long with the roster they have. So, you know, I do think that even though it has been a very frustrating season, I still think that this group has shown they've got something to them, and they shouldn't just be overlooked. And I do think bits of last year were fluky, but at the same time, I do think it's more of an example of this is what you guys could be if things go really, really well.
Getting into some pocket watching today is kind of a lose-lose for the Kings. I mean, it's good, but it's also bad.
Yeah.
Suns at Pelicans. So if you want to, that's really the main one as far as the Western Conference. It looks like that's one of the only Western Conference games.
Yeah, very strange.
And I would say you root for the Suns at this point, because if you believe the Suns are going to eventually keep losing,
right,
then
knocking down the Pelicans is more important.
Exactly. The Suns are going to get their L's somewhere, somehow.
That's
the
a good
Pelicans, point. I'm not as confident they're going to lose as many games as the Kings. And, you know, just as far as the 6, and we're still talking 6 seed. I mean, it's not completely done yet. The Kings are going to have to win a lot of games right now.
Sure.
They're 2 games back of the Mavs and the Pelicans, and they're tied with the Suns. So if the Suns win tonight, that brings the 6 a little bit closer. And you still have a straight up head-to-head game with the Pels
and Phoenix
Phoenix,
both of them. Yeah, I think you convinced me. I think you're right. I'm pretty sure. And actually, looking at it, the Pelicans and Suns play twice the rest of this way. They play tonight, and then they play on April 7th as well. So they might be able to do the Kings some favors there, actually. So we haven't had to look at the Pelicans schedule because they've been so far ahead, and Dallas was the team that we were more concerned about. But now looking at the Pelicans really don't have an easy schedule the rest of this way. They have Phoenix tonight. Then on the 3rd, they play Orlando. Then they play San Antonio, who has been frisky lately. Then they play Phoenix again. Then they play the Blazers. They end their season at Sacramento, at Golden State, and then versus the Lakers. That's not easy.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Right.
So there's a chance that, if Phoenix does win tonight, that moves the Kings back within one game of that 6th seed. And then we're back on that hopium, man.
We're back on the hopium. So the Mavs, and look, contender or pretender, the Mavs they're in the driver's seat for the 5 seed.
Yes. Yeah.
We're done talking about the Mavs. The tiebreaker doesn't really matter unless they fall off a cliff. We are done talking about the Dallas Mavericks.
I would think so. The hope would have been a team like Houston could have given them problems. Yeah. They won 10 in a row. Dallas wiped the floor with Houston the other night.
Yeah.
Dallas is now the team that's 9-1 in their last 10. They're the hottest team in basketball. They have one more against Houston and then 2 against Golden State. Maybe Golden State wins one of those. Maybe Houston wins one of those. But
done.
The rest of the way is so easy for Dallas. I'm with you. I think we can pretty much – I think especially, again, looking at the Pelican schedule, it feels like Dallas has the inside track for that 5 seed. So, New Orleans is the one we have to worry about. And I don't even know what you would call the tiebreaker situation with the Kings and the Pelicans. Like, the Pelicans own that tiebreaker, but owning doesn't even feel like the right word. As we know, the Kings are 0-4 against the Pelicans this year. So, the Kings really would just have to have a straight up better record than the Pelicans at the end of this year. It's going to take some work. It starts on Tuesday with them building on yesterday's win and taking down the Clippers. That's going to be a tough task, but the Clippers have slipped as of late. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They have won 3 straight, but they were up there contending with the top 3 seeds, and they've now fallen into this middle ground where the Kings were last year, where you maybe can fall back to the 5 seed. Maybe Dallas can continue to win and leapfrog them, but ultimately you're playing that 4-5 matchup. So the Clippers don't really have much to play for at this point. Who knows? Maybe the Kings catch them slipping too.
When we return, Sasha and Trey return. We will discuss Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan Murray scrambles to save it. He gives it now to Barnes. 1 on the clock. Desperate 3 on the way. He scores the triple. Game tied at 121 apiece. 17 for Barnes.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own lawn report.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you. But you must call 800-257-0663 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-257-0663. That's 800-257-0663. Again, 800-257-0663.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado LT and RST half-ton diesel in stock after rebates. A Maida Chevy exclusive.
See all the truck season savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/24.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, all guests and callers, join us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Chris, Sasha and Trey make a return. We've talked so much about who the Kings don't have on the floor. But look who has returned. What did you think of Sasha and Trey's performance?
First off, it was good to see Trey hit shots, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like we've seen him. He's definitely been a part of the inconsistency of this year. Good to see him come back. Definitely feel like the Kings need him, especially without Malik, just somebody they can rely on. Yeah. It feels like him and Davion are probably going to be the main two options off the bench. And then who knows who it's going to be. But Sasha's name was called yesterday. It was not really something I expected. We've talked at length during Sasha's 21 game absence about is Sasha even going to play when he enters, even when he's healthy? And I think Malik's injury definitely helps with that. I think this team needs to kind of go deep into their bag, if you will, if they're going to try and survive without Malik. And I do think Sasha had a nice little stint. You know, he played under 10 minutes. He hit a 3, had some nice moments where he was in the right spot at the right time, just really high IQ basketball player. And, you know, I was kind of thinking about it. Like I said, on Saturday, I just kind of had these moments where I would forget, but then be reminded that Malik's going to be out for an extended period of time. And, you know, I'm trying to think of who are guys who can try and replicate what Malik does. And I kind of came to Sasha as the guy who I feel like, you know, you just give him 15, 20 minutes and you say, we've seen Sasha's green light before. If you give that man a green light, that thing's touching his hand for less than a second before it goes up. If you just say, look, man, we're desperate. I want you taking 12 shots a game.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's a good, if you think you can make it, take it.
Yeah.
What does that look like? How does that work? Is that a way where maybe the Kings, hey, he might go 2 of 12 one day, but he might go 7 of 12 the next.
Yeah.
Is that are you at that point in the season where that's where your brain needs to go? I don't know. I think he's got the capabilities to do it.
You got to get that production from somewhere, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're missing 15 points a game and 5.5 assists a game.
Sasha being DiVincenzo. Can we do
Pretty
Sasha
much.
DiVincenzo?
Yeah, Sasha DiVincenzo. Get him back in a different form. Where are you going to get those 15 points from?
Yeah.
You're looking around, and you can't even necessarily count Trey because Trey also has his own production.
Yep.
So you cannot count Trey in the Malik Monk production,
right?
But you can count Sasha.
Yeah.
Who are guys that weren't giving you anything.
Yep.
So between Sasha, Davion, Kessler,
I think, Duarte. Duarte seems like he's, again, was given an opportunity, and we, on Friday really, really struggled.
It's
as
not
well.
good,
It feels
man.
like he's out of the rotation again.
He played 2 minutes.
Yeah, and those were the Colby Jones, Mason Jones, JaVale
Yeah.
minutes. It's not even like those were actual minutes. So, yeah, I think it's Davion. Davion, we've talked about his offensive leap that he's taken. I don't know if I'll go as far as calling it a leap, but just his consistency on the offensive end. You need that. That's, again, much like we talked about with Keegan. It's no longer like a nice, cute note that you throw in there. It's now no, that needs to be there every day. Trey, you're completely right. That's just something that Trey's got. He's already factored into the bench production. You can't, unless you're saying Trey Lyles now needs to go from 7 points to 13, 12 points a game. I don't think that you can realistically expect Trey to just come in and be that consistent after missing time. Kessler Edwards, I guess, is the other guy besides Sasha where maybe you can get something out of him that you weren't expecting to get. More Keon Ellis minutes, definitely more De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. That really might be the answer, is just you play De'Aaron a lot more. You play De'Aaron like 40 minutes a night. And I think that could be where you try and replace Malik.
You got to get it from somewhere, and there are guys that are ready to step up. Right. I don't think anyone is afraid of the moment. You've seen Kessler Edwards show up. You've seen everybody show up that's been called on. And that's a testament to Mike Brown and the coaching staff having these dudes ready. But, we'll see more of how ready or not ready they are against the Clippers, because the Jazz are the Jazz. Right.
Exactly.
And we felt good. Everybody feels good about what happened yesterday. But at the same time, you were supposed to beat the Jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
What can you do now against a playoff opponent without Malik Monk?
Exactly, because those are the teams you're going to play. And then, that's obviously come playoff time. It's a sign of, can this team compete? Like, how much worse? We know that they're not going to be the same team without Malik. They're definitely not going to be a better team. But can this version of the Kings, again, with Kessler Edwards out there, with Keon maybe getting more minutes, with Davion getting more minutes, maybe holding opponents to less, they can find out different ways to win games, which they haven't this year. They were starting to, turn that corner defensively this month. Definitely has been their best defensive month of the season. That's really the only way that I see this thing going good against good teams, is if they're just an overall better defensive team, but don't slack on the offensive end and still get, a surprise production. Because even with, Keegan and Harrison playing well, I still think you need one of Keon, Davion, Trey, Sasha. You need somebody else to contribute somewhere near double digits. You have to have somebody else affecting the game besides those guys. You still need just a little bit more help.
Yeah, looking here at the box score, the Keegan Murray, that 25.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
You're not going to get that
every
from
night.
Keegan every night. It would be nice.
HB 24.
We've
seen that.
And again, where does this show up against a team like the Clippers tomorrow?
Right. That's right. Exactly. PG and Kawhi. How can HB and Keegan, great games against Taylor Hendricks and Bryce Sensabaugh. Can you do that against Kawhi Leonard and Paul George?
Yeah, exactly.
Big difference.
And you can't, like we said, the greenest of green lights.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Keegan Murray.
12 threes from Keegan yesterday. Need those every day.
Yeah, just take them.
Yeah.
Just there's literally nobody else to take them right now. And then you get Sasha in there, and hopefully he's taking them. Even Trey Lyles, 5 threes. I'm good with that.
It's got to.
At that point, what where else is the offense going to come from, right?
No
and
idea.
and on top of that, you will have the usage go up. And Coach Mike Brown talked about the usage of his 2 stars, Sabonis and Fox, also going up. Here he is.
They both have to, and that's what stars do. They make the game easier for everybody else in a lot of different ways, especially offensively. You know, when you draw 2, you get off it. And if you can get to your sweet spot, you finish like you're supposed to, especially if it's one-on-one. And so I thought both those guys were fantastic playing the game of basketball tonight and contributing in other areas to help us win and making the game easier for their teammates.
Yeah, there's no more the rotation thing and, De'Aaron's only going to play a certain amount of minutes. That's over.
Yeah.
That's over.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at De'Aaron every single night. He had 24 last night. It was in a blowout. I feel like every night he's got to get 26 plus. Like he's got to be looking very aggressive without Malik there, without Kevin there. They're not going to have that scoring pop. De'Aaron's not going to have the option of having these 20-point games and kind of taking a back seat. He's got to be the aggressor. He's got to be, again, in games where they're playing Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Kevin Durant, Zion, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown against Shea. De'Aaron's got to be the best player on the floor for better than 50% of those games if they want to have a chance here down the stretch. And that's a big ask. I mean, he has kind of taken a back seat, and, we're going to talk about it here in a minute. Like, has he really shown in this second half of the season what we saw in the first half of the season, or has he taken a step back where these other guys have consistently been at the top of their game? This is going to be a big stretch for De'Aaron Fox. Absolutely. His team needs, it's not an option anymore. It is a necessity for you to be at the top of your game. Can you do it? Because if not, things could get ugly, and it can get really ugly really fast.
Yeah. And again, this offseason comes and you have a guy like De'Aaron, if we don't see him step up, or depending on how this thing ends, there could be some uncomfortable conversations come June, May, July, anything like that. So hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully he is able to step up, and Sabonis as well, looking at both of them to really fill the gap of Malik. Yes, obviously you need bench players, but you also need your stars to play like stars. Alan, we see you. We will get to you on the other side, and we are having a conversation about De'Aaron Fox. Is he the guy? I'm out here on social media, and I'm not sure that Kings fans think he's the guy. We will open up the phone lines answering the question, or asking the question, is De'Aaron Fox a franchise player? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Replace your worn-out brakes and save now on Brake Best Select. Brake Best Select Pro are import direct brake pads and rotors only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Alan Bastable offers 8 sneaky ways for stubbornly average players to break 80. First, play sensible tees. Hitting 7 and 8 irons into greens instead of hybrids give chances at 4s and 3s. Check the par. There's no shame in doing so on a par 70 course. 3, check the forecast. A day after rain can mean soft greens. 4, avoid big numbers. It's not the bogeys that will derail a 79. It's a couple of bigger scores. 5, you got to believe. Give yourself a pep talk and temper the feelings of gloom. 6, keep like-minded company. If you're a grinder, play with fellow grinders, or play with music, or gamble if that's your game. 7, a little luck helps. Even tour players recognize luck. 8, don't obsess over, breaking 80. You're going to know if you have a good round going, so have your partner keep score. At the 18th tee, ask where you stand, as it may affect the way you approach the hole. Sounds simple, huh? Now go out and do it and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
If you're in the market for a new or used car right now, or if you just want to go see like what new technology's in the new cars nowadays, stop by and see my friends at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall before you go anywhere else. As soon as you step onto the lot, you're going to feel like family. You're going to know why they have so many 5-star reviews at Elk Grove Kia and why they're the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer. Like, I love this 5-star review right here. Quote, I could not be happier. My husband surprised me with my new Telluride. I love it. The staff is friendly, kind, and conscious. Took their time to find the perfect car. Thank you guys for the hard work. Great job. I love my new Telly. There you go. That's just another satisfied customer at Elk Grove Kia. So in addition to all the 5-star reviews, the finance team at Elk Grove Kia has over 100 years combined experience. You know what that means? Financing for everyone. And we know going to the car dealership can be overwhelming, but come experience Elk Grove Kia. They go above and beyond to make sure this is an automotive adventure for you. Check out what's on special and what's on the lot today at elkgrovekia.com, or better yet, come see everything in person at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Franchise guys. They step up when their team needs it the most. De'Aaron Fox, is he in that category? Do you think that he can lead this team, maybe not this year, but at any point? Do you think De'Aaron Fox can be a franchise guy on a championship team? That's the question. And this offseason, when names get thrown around, we've talked about the city. We've talked about the coach. But what do other players think about De'Aaron Fox, right? Do they think that they can be a good Robin to his Batman? In a perfect world, is De'Aaron Fox a Robin on a really good team? I don't know, but we are going to know a lot more towards the end of the season. And this is an opportunity for De'Aaron Fox to put himself in that category. dudes that are franchise guys, they make things happen when the situations aren't perfect. And this is an opportunity for De'Aaron Fox.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's huge. I mean, they need him to be great. It's not good. They need him to be the De'Aaron Fox that we saw the first 2 months of the season, where he was at 30 points a game and he was shooting 40% from three. I don't know necessarily if he needs to shoot that well from three, but he has to be near that 30 point per game mark. They need the points. They need somebody to put pressure on defense. We need somebody who the defense is afraid of. We've talked about at length this equal opportunity offense. Shouldn't be that way anymore. This needs to be a dictatorship. As this is like, in Remember the Titans, this is Coach Boone's team. Okay. This is De'Aaron Fox's team.
That's right.
The rest of this way. And the success of the team overall is going to be on the shoulders of how ridiculous De'Aaron Fox plays in this stretch. I just saw a number on Twitter that said, in this little Maverick stretch here where Luka is in his last 11 games, Luka Doncic 11-0, 31 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 9.9 assists. His team is 11-0. De'Aaron needs to make sure that if the Kings lose games, it's not his fault. That needs to be the last person that we even consider blaming for them losing a game. I'm okay if De'Aaron, is a bit aggressive, and if sometimes we're like, I don't know if he should take this shot, because at the end of the day, all of the pressure and the point of this segment, the end of the year, if the Kings don't make the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of questions about De'Aaron Fox. No one's going to be talking about, hey, is Kessler, is Keegan Murray capable of lifting a team?
No.
All of the conversation is going to be, is De'Aaron Fox good enough to be a number one on a championship team like you presented? So if he wants those questions to be quieted, he's going to have to show something here down the stretch, because really we haven't talked about it much, but Domantas Sabonis has definitely taken the reins, taken the crown of, hey, put the team on my back. I got us for really the past month and a half. He has been the Kings' best player, and we're getting to the point in the season where things need to start shifting, and playoff time needs to be De'Aaron Fox time.
916-339-1140. Let's get out to Alan, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Alan? What you got for us?
Hey, you guys. I just want to let you know you're officially my favorite show of the day now.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm not just saying that at the risk of being Brown Noser of the Year. I like Chris Watkins' style because he's a guy who doesn't put on airs, but he's just like one of us and basically tries to tell it like it is. But you guys both together have astute analysis, and that's no joke.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, Alan. Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys saw this. This is the reason I called. I was really happy, like most of us, to see Sasha out there. And Brown had a lot of guts leaving him out in extended minutes because he's quick to yank him, as you probably noticed this year. And I saw an interview with Sasha with another guy that was speaking his native tongue, and they were going back and forth about his role with the Kings. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't. There was like audio and video of it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
no, I didn't see that.
It was like in a park or something, and it was really informal. And so, when you got an informal situation and someone's talking in their native tongue, they tend to let their guard down a little bit.
Sure.
And Sasha kind of hinted around that, it's really hard to perform when you're playing for 3 minutes and you get yanked,
Yeah.
And I was as excited as anyone this season to hear about Sasha joining the Kings finally and his sharpshooting antics. But I think it was really great to see him get to play extended minutes. And you watch him, like Huerter, he's not a born defender, but he works really hard to, help the team in any way he can. So hopefully he'll help fill that gap that huge gap that Monk is leaving us.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Alan. To pull back the curtain a little bit, I do know that there have been conversations around Sasha being more open than maybe people realize about not loving the lack of playing time this season. But to me, that's not even necessarily breaking news, because who likes to sit on the bench?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants to play more. I think it's a matter of, hey, I came all the way out here and you guys were aggressively pursuing me and now I can't get time.
Yeah.
So what went wrong? Not really sure, but with Malik Monk going down, everybody's going to have more of an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that Sasha will get a longer look than he got earlier this season, simply because of the numbers.
Got to. No, yeah. He's the Kings' best shooter, and they need scoring right now. So I would think that Sasha's probably going to get a good run of time. It was interesting to see he got like the Kessler Edwards rotation in the first half. He played 17 seconds, and I think it was the last 17 seconds of the first quarter. So it was kind of strange in trying to figure out how they were going to utilize him. But yeah, in that second half, I think they played him for like 5 minutes in the third quarter, and then he got a little bit of run in the fourth as well. I think he'll be a part of the rotation, but I mean, as you just outlined, I mean, Mike Brown has been very frugal with his minutes this year, and I have a tough time seeing in these most important games. It's the reason why we were having the conversation before he was playing. These are really, really important games, and he just hasn't been a part of the rotation, period, all year long. He got 10 minutes last night. He got 9 minutes, 52 seconds. I would guess he's hovering around there, maybe 15 minutes. Like, I don't think Sasha is going to be getting, Davion gets 21, Trey Lyles gets 18. I just don't know if Sasha will get to that point at this point in the season. So, he's probably still going to find himself getting those 3 to 4 minute stints anyway. He's just got to figure out how to make the most of it, because that's the hand he's being dealt right now. And I think maybe next year will be the season for Sasha.
Yeah. And look, there's always a learning curve. Obviously, he EuroLeague MVP, but there are levels to this. Definitely. And it's definitely taken a bit longer than I think Kings fans were hoping for,
100%.
and maybe the Kings were hoping for as well. But maybe you round it out at the right time. And this is where you make your money, and this is where you make your mark when the team needs you. So it's not just about the stars, it's also about the role guys as well. From the 5-3-0, going back to De'Aaron Fox, I do believe Fox can be the best player on a championship team.
That's right.
When he's at his very best. Problem is that we don't see his best consistently enough. He was unreal for the first couple months of the season, but I honestly think since his ankle injury, he's been up and down. And then I just remembered the shoulder thing that wasn't getting reported, and then we did get that's what happened. And now and now he's healthy, and I saw somebody else on the text line say, I don't want to see De'Aaron Fox take more than 5 threes ever in a game.
I don't either.
Well, you are. You are definitely going to see that.
So quit asking.
Because he's going to shoot them. And, his numbers, his 3-point numbers have come back down to reality, but that's part of it. Exactly what the 5-3-0 say. You cannot say he can be that guy if he's not that guy all the time.
No, right. Exactly.
That's literally part of it.
It's part of it. Absolutely. It's what makes the greats is the fact that you're able to do it every single night. A lot of guys can channel it for a couple games or for a week or for a series or anything like that. It's really tough to score 30 points every single night. And that's where, again, we talk about levels. That's the level that Shea's at right now. And and we've said it before, that's probably why his team has been at the top of the Western Conference all year long, because he has maintained that level all year long. If De'Aaron Fox had been scoring 30 points per game and, averaging 40% from 3 like he was at the beginning of the year, I would almost guarantee the Kings would be a lot closer to the 4 seed than they are to the 8 seed right now. And, again, that's just the reality of the situation. It's tough. Injuries happen. We saw the same thing happen with Tyrese Halliburton. He got hurt halfway through the year, and he has not been the same this second half of the season. It happens, but at the same time, that's not an excuse. Everybody, no one's going to feel bad for you. If you're playing games, you still got to go out there and produce no matter what. De'Aaron hasn't done that this year. And maybe, if I'm an optimist, I'm going to say this is, again, a learning experience. He got to feel what it felt like for a couple months. He realized it's tough to stay at that level. What's he going to do this offseason to make sure that that's easier? Is it going to be conditioning? Is it going to be, I take too many threes, reevaluating his game? And that's going to be all on De'Aaron Fox. But in terms of the question of, is he a franchise guy right here, right now, I feel a lot more like he's that 1B or that Robin than a Batman right now. It feels like he's got a great opportunity to show us here, but
that's right.
Off of what I've seen this season, it's not even that he's been willing to take the back seat to Sabonis. It's the fact that I don't even think it was I think he did it. I think Sabonis almost did it out of necessity. It felt like Sabonis just kind of saw that for the taking, and not in a malicious way, but he just took it. He said, okay, we need somebody to be here every single night. I'll do it. I will do it.
Yeah. It's hard for me to call somebody 1A when you have someone putting up the numbers that Sabonis put up this season, and you have some of the bad losses that you had.
Yeah.
To me, and look, if it's just one, everybody is allowed one stinker.
Totally.
But there were just too many.
Yep.
I can't call you 1A if you're losing to the Blazers and the Hornets and the Pistons at home, and both of you are on the floor. Now, with that being said, all of that can change with these last couple games.
Yep.
All of that you can make up for the reason you're in this situation.
Yes.
You have an opportunity to make up for it. You're shorthanded. This is literally out of a storybook.
Pretty much.
Hey, you have an opportunity to show people that you are that guy.
Yep.
It's right there
right
for
in
the
front of
taking.
you. 8 games too. It's not like a crazy long
And
stretch.
it's 8 games, and it's not just 8 games. It's 8 games against
Quality
dudes
opponents,
that
right.
you literally have been compared to, right? And in the national media right now, okay, you have the Clippers. Obviously, they're a little bit older, but you got Kawhi and you got Paul George. Both of those guys are probably thought of as better than De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
What's next, Chris? You got Jalen Brunson. I think people would pick Jalen over De'Aaron Fox this season.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Sacramento, but I think around the NBA, that probably would go to Jalen. What's next? The Celtics, okay? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Both of those guys are probably considered better than De'Aaron. And then you get a break against the Nets. After that, Shea, straight up. Kings at Thunder.
Yep.
For all the marbles, okay? Straight up. You got Shea right in front of your face. The Pelicans. Are you going to lose 5 games to one team? Really? You're going to lose 5 games to one team? Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So after that, you got KD and the Suns. So everything is in front of De'Aaron Fox, and it's an opportunity. And sometimes it makes it better when you're shorthanded, because this is literally an opportunity for De'Aaron to set, because people have the conversation about Malik this season of who is more important to the team. Now there's no Malik. Now there's no security blanket. It's just all you.
Yep.
What are you going to do? Stiles and Watkins. We'll be right back.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit newnordicusa.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Join Alan Stiles, Chris Watkins, and the Sactown Sports Street Team on Monday, April 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouth-watering full menu. 1310 Fulton Avenue. See you there.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
From the 916, Folsom Mike, Fox is a borderline superstar. I like when he plays mad, but he defers too much sometimes. And games like the second Mavs game doesn't help. Kyrie and Luka played that game like a true superstar. Fox sadly didn't. He's got it in him, though. Can't wait for it to come out 99% of the time from Folsom Mike. I think the issue is the franchise guys, right, or most franchise guys, it seems like right now, and I think Jason Tatum might suffer from this too. A lot of times, franchise guys are generational.
Right.
And right now, it feels like, and I don't know if Shea's going to be generational, but Luka, generational. Jokic, generational. LeBron, Steph, the list goes on and on. Then you have, I would say maybe Giannis as well. I mean, he's literally called the Greek Freak. So then you have a different level of franchise guys that are really, really good, but probably not generational. Jason Tatum is not generational to me. And I think that is why people have some cause to pause with De'Aaron, because he's really good, but there are teams out here with superstars that are literally generational.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a tough era to play in right now because, there's just everybody's got a star, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a guy that they think is at that level. Yeah. Even the Charlotte Hornets would say LaMelo Ball is at that level. Like, there's not the Detroit Pistons, worst team in the NBA. They're going to tell you Cade Cunningham is a guy who can be at that level.
Every year there's a guy.
Every year there's a guy.
There are more coming in.
Every single year a guy comes. San Antonio.
They
just got a guy.
Right.
Even if you don't have a guy, you're just in the process of getting a guy.
You're looking for a guy.
So, yeah, I mean, De'Aaron is definitely, obviously, the Kings guy. And it's tough for me because I don't want to discount the playoffs last year because De'Aaron 100% for 3 games there until he broke his finger, went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry and was equal. Steph definitely was just a half step better, but the fact that De'Aaron was able to reach that level to me showed this guy's capable of being that star. And I think that's who the 99% of the time that the texter references, that's the guy that we think, but he's just not that guy every day. And there are guys who are at a different level than him. I think he's really, really, really good, but I kind of think in an ideal world, he's best suited like a Kyrie Irving, where Kyrie is absolutely a superstar. He's absolutely somebody who I think we know is capable of having monster nights, but I think he kind of needs that other guy to help. And it's not even really shaded to De'Aaron. Again, it's probably more even a statement of where this league is at, that nobody, unless you are generational, like a Jokic, like a Luka, like a Giannis, no one can really do it by themselves unless you're just an absolute top 3 player in the NBA. And it's no disrespect to say De'Aaron's not a top 3 player in the NBA. He needs somebody else who's going to be able to lift this team to another level. And I think it's out there. Paul George is definitely a guy that I would consider as another, maybe De'Aaron would be a 1A, but Paul George would be a really close 1B. I just feel like De'Aaron, he's not good enough to just be the one guy that's lifting the entire boat.
But again,
I don't think that's necessarily disrespectful. Again, I just kind of think that's the state of the league.
But again, you got 8 games to shut people like us up.
Sure.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you. And here's the thing. If Luka is generational and they haven't even been able to figure out what is going to work with Luka.
Right.
He had Jalen Brunson. Yeah. He had Porzingis. And now he's got Kyrie.
So where does this question also go to? I can maybe hear some people saying De'Aaron has a number 2 and it's Domantas Sabonis. So are we maybe not why are we maybe not having the same conversation about Domantas Sabonis, who is the one who's more likely to be on the All-NBA list at this point? Is it because he's already providing so much that it would almost be selfish to ask for more from him as well?
You're saying, why am I not looking at Sabonis to step up?
Not necessarily. Yes,
with Malik
in
being
general,
out.
the question, yeah.
But he's been that all season, though.
But it hasn't been enough.
He's a walking
De'Aaron's been
triple-double.
great too. De'Aaron's at 20, just under 27 a game. He's averaging more points than anybody else is on the team.
Well, then we're talking about maybe you have 2 Robins.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have 2 wide receiver 2s.
Yeah, because Sabonis, we can have the same conversation of like he's been fantastic. He's been great. But does he have another level to go to? Like, I know that De'Aaron, we all know De'Aaron takes this team as far as he goes. He's the head of the snake, all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm here saying De'Aaron Fox, he's great, but he needs that other guy next to him. Well, I don't know how much so you want 3 all NBA play? Like, at what point,
That's a good point.
Are you have the help that you need? Do you really need more help? Like, doesn't he already have the support? Is Sabonis enough? Can he use Sabonis enough to get this team to where they need to go? And again, is that on De'Aaron? I would say De'Aaron has more of the room of improvement. So Sabonis, we've seen every single night he's giving us what he can give us. We don't think Sabonis can go from averaging 20 to 26 a game. It feels like De'Aaron could go from his 25 a game back up to 30. That's
how I feel about it. But then also, if both of them do their thing and it still doesn't work, right? And it's, hey, they showed up, but it's the other guys. Yeah. Well, then that's a conversation that we have about Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray. Then we can have that. I would rather have that conversation than Keegan giving you 15 to 25 and you don't end up winning because De'Aaron was the one. I would much rather have the conversation about the other guys and where Keegan's ceiling is and how to move on from Harrison Barnes versus those guys actually showed up. And De'Aaron and Sabonis to a lesser degree did it.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully that is the story. I mean, I'm right there with you. I would much rather have that be the case. I think the bigger thing is just like, it can't down the stretch here. We cannot go through these games and have the finger being pointed at them. It has to be, to your point, everybody else's fault except for them.
Because that's the issue, the lack of depth. It was too much to overcome, and it is what it is. But if that's not the reason, then again, there are going to be some difficult conversations this summer, but hopefully we don't get there. And it all starts tomorrow night against three guys really that I was just going to say Paul George and Kawhi, but throw James Harden in there too.
And we know Zubac gives Sabonis problems
for some odd reason. He just doesn't jump.
Can't have it. We can't have that tomorrow.
No, you're at home. You got to get it done. There's just no time anymore. When we return, continuing the conversation, also talking a little March Madness. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Dirty Heads, live in concert.
Every single day.
Friday, April 12th, 7:30 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley.
Say I'm crazy, but I have a
special guest, The Elevators.
to me so far.
On sale at ThunderValleyResort.com.
Excuse me, I've been so long, I've been weak.
Don't miss Dirty Heads Live.
Rescue me.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, J. Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Fidium Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
This is an interesting one, Chris, from the 916. I would take less triple doubles if it meant Domas would get over 25 points a game. We need Domas to score just a little bit more. Those 15, 12, and 10 games are okay, but I'd rather see 28 and 10.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Sabonis he doesn't really have, if we want to have a bad conversation.
How is he getting the 20?
How is he getting it? He's not a great finisher.
Yeah.
If he's getting to the line, he's hitting those at like 70%. So, I don't know if him necessarily looking for his shot more would make the team better, because it would probably be a lot of forcing it,
Yeah, I'm not right with and somebody I think on the Sac chat talked about Domas's mid-range jumper with no consistent jumper.
Mm-hmm.
If you look around the league at other centers, that's why nobody is scoring that much, because he's just limited.
Yeah, he does
scoring wise,
absolutely.
And really,
and that's not maximizing. His value is in setting other guys up,
right? And to the 916, it's not as if he could use more energy scoring versus the assists. I mean, he's still going to be passing.
Yep.
I guess instead of passing, he'd be shooting, but I don't know that the reason he's not getting 28 points is because he's doing too much other stuff. He just, what it is. He's going to set the tone early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. He's going to get to the free throw line. And then but when it gets deeper into the game, it's De'Aaron Fox time, or it was Malik Monk time, something like that. That's just the recipe that they have.
Yeah, exactly. And his value, I would just say it's not going anywhere. Again, his Sabonis's real value is in even his regular assist. It's a screen assist, and that's just not going anywhere. He leads the league by a wide margin in screen assists, and That's I mean, it's a byproduct of his assists. He's just naturally looking to get guys open and then give them the ball. That's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to increase even more. They're going to require Mike Brown. In the audio we just played, Mike Brown talked about how it's not just about scoring with De'Aaron and Sabonis. What's the one number that really sticks out from yesterday? De'Aaron Fox, 12 assists. Mm-hmm. That is directly Mike Brown saying, look, De'Aaron, we just had the conversation. You can score 30. Sure, that's going to help. Mm-hmm. But what's really going to help is if you make Kessler Edwards a viable option for us by giving him good looks. That's really how those guys can truly show their value, is by making sure those other guys besides them are comfortable and getting good looks as well.
Yeah, and Family Schlegel on the YouTube, on the Sack Chat, is saying assist still counts for a minimum of 2 points.
That's right.
For your team.
That's right.
So how many points is Domas associated with per game versus what he's actually just putting up himself?
I know they have that number. It's like PRF. It's like points responsible.
I'm sure his is crazy.
It's got to be him, Luka, and Jokic at the top of the league. And I don't even think anyone would be close. I'll look into it real quick.
Yeah. So I don't know if you talk about a bag or whatever it is, Sabonis' bag isn't too deep, but he sets the tone. And then from there, that's where you get the spray threes, and that's where you get other people involved. And without Sabonis, I mean, the usage is just crazy, right? I don't think I have to tell anybody here that. And no, he's not going to put up 30 points. That's not where his value is, at least not on this team. So let's get to the phone lines, and Chris wants to be a part of the conversation.
We've had Alan and Chris on
That's
the
right.
line?
That's right. Wow. 916-339-1140. Chris, what you got for us?
So I got a question. I hear all this talk about Trey Lyles needs to step up and Chris needs to step up, and I don't understand. Why can't Keegan Murray step up? Why can't Harrison Barnes step up more? Why can't they get a couple more shots in because of Malik Monk? I hear all this other talk about everybody else but the other two starters. Mm-hmm. They're viable for us too. This opens up spots for them to shoot too, so I just don't understand why all the talk about everybody else but them two, when we need them two to step up a little more and take a little more shots.
No, yeah, you're right, Chris. Thanks for the call. I mean, I've said that, and you've said the same thing. Keegan, greenest of lights.
Yeah, we
just
talked about it earlier.
Well, the issue is, and maybe it is what it is, but the issue is you have Keegan Murray, who's only in his second year, and you have Harrison Barnes, who he is. I mean, we can sit here and talk about Harrison Barnes and hey, we need more, but Chris Watkins, that's been an evergreen conversation with you for years. Harrison Barnes is who he is. Sure. Sometimes you're going to get 24, 25 points randomly, probably in a game where you don't necessarily need it. That's right. But are you going to get 24, 25 points tomorrow when you need it against the Clippers?
Probably not.
Now, he had a nice stretch, the revenge tour. That's right. Where he went off against the Kings, he went off against the Warriors,
the Hawks, Warriors. And
yes. And he did some things there. Yep. But Harrison Barnes is just going to. I'd love to sit here and say it's not that he shouldn't. It's that I'm not going to say it, but we've seen this.
We've seen that movie before.
That's the
reality.
And that's not a good excuse, but that's just I
look, man. I expected Harrison. I wanted Harrison to hit that 3 on Friday. Draymond said it. I'm sorry. We've seen that movie before.
And again,
who he is at this point.
Maybe he gets hot. Maybe this sparks a nice run for Harrison Barnes. Now is the time. Okay, you get 24 points from Harrison. Yeah, should his volume go up? I would say so.
Yeah.
Keegan Murray took 12 threes yesterday. Yeah. So maybe that's the start of it. Hopefully.
But we've needed it all year.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, is that, it again, now beforehand it was, wouldn't it be nice if Harrison contributed at that level? Wouldn't it be great if Keegan was that aggressive for a shot every night? It would be wouldn't it be great? Now it is a matter of, no, we absolutely need it. And I just don't know if, this team could have really used it all year long. I guess, the sense of urgency could change things, but I think at the end of the day, these guys are going to fall back into who they are. And at this point, this season, they haven't felt like they have been needed to imprint at this level. And I would say that the Kings desperately have needed them. And I just don't expect it to change. I think it's great that it's a great step in the right direction to see them put up those numbers, but we'll see what happens, when things start to get ugly. Do you continue to have that level of aggressiveness, or are you going to defer to De'Aaron and put the ball in his hands and say, I don't feel comfortable creating my shot right now. Let's live and die with you.
Yeah, one thing as far as Malik Monk and everything that the Kings have lost, not just the scoring, but also the ball handling.
Playmaking.
The Kings do not have a lot of ball handlers.
They have none.
With Malik Monk now out,
it's De'Aaron Fox.
They have De'Aaron Fox. And, Keegan, we couldn't tell if he was joking yesterday. He talked about how he stepped up as a player. He had 3 assists yesterday. I mean, that's better than what he normally does, but 3, that's not good enough. Like Malik Monk sets the table for that second unit completely. They just run pick and roll over and over and over again with him and Sabonis. And if De'Aaron's not going to be out there, even if it is only going to be for 8 to 10 minutes a game, they need somebody to be able to create shots for others. It can't just be Sabonis. It can't just be the handoffs over and over, because we've seen that it can get stagnant. It's going to be on Davion. Davion had a pretty good game. He had 3 assists last night in 20 minutes. I think Keon had 3 assists as well. Like it might just have to be a collaborative effort. It might have to be De'Aaron's not out there. We don't have a designated point guard at that point. You get the rebound, or you're the best ball handler near the rebound. You're bringing it up, and we just get into our offense that way. It might just not be as clean. We still have to see. I mean, it's still so early, but somebody's going to have to step up in that role, especially if we get into a clutch situation. Cover your eyes, because I think it's just going to be De'Aaron the entire time in the clutch. That's really where they're going to miss a guy like Malik.
Well, gentlemen, should we hear from? We do have Barn Sound talking about stepping up.
Yeah.
Do we want to hear from them?
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime a guy like Malik is not playing, you can't replace that necessarily. How dynamic he is offensively, his playmaking ability. So we knew coming into this game, we had to do it as a collective. We had to just rely on the pass. We knew it was going to come from somewhere, somebody, getting hot, making shots, but just everyone just being ready. And I think just moving forward, just kind of having that same mindset of just trusting the pass, trusting our movement, and just relying on the offense to create offense for us.
Yeah, a day like yesterday where everything goes right. I'm looking here at the assist numbers, and they all look great.
Exactly.
They look great.
Yeah.
Will it continue?
Yeah. They made 23s also yesterday. We've talked a lot about how things get really easily massaged when the Kings make their jumpers, but you bring that number down to 37%, 38%. How much are they willing to fight for that win?
When we return, continuing to talk Kings, also Final Four, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The final game of the homestand concludes Tuesday as the Los Angeles Clippers pay a visit to Golden One Center and the Sacramento Kings.
It's fourth quarter Fox time. He's doubled, throws a pass cross court to Keegan, steps to his left, launches a 3. He's got the triple. It's the 4th one from downtown in 5 attempts by Keegan Murray. And the Kings have tied it at 101.
Catch all the play-by-play starting at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
If you're in the market for a new or used car right now, or if you just want to go see like what new technologies in the new cars nowadays, stop by and see my friends at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall before you go anywhere else. As soon as you step onto the lot, you're going to feel like family. You're going to know why they have so many 5-star reviews at Elk Grove Kia and why they're the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer. Like, I love this 5-star review right here. Quote, "I could not be happier. My husband surprised me with my new Telluride. I love it. The staff is friendly, kind, and conscious. Took their time to find the perfect car. Thank you guys for the hard work. Great job. I love my new Telly." There you go. That's just another satisfied customer at Elk Grove Kia. So in addition to all the 5-star reviews, the finance team at Elk Grove Kia has over 100 years combined experience. You know what that means? Financing for everyone. And we know going to the car dealership can be overwhelming, but come experience Elk Grove Kia. They go above and beyond to make sure this is an automotive adventure for you. Check out what's on special and what's on the lot today at elkgrovekia.com, or better yet, come see everything in person at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Hey guys, do you know your T level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass. Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
Right now, Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2024 half-ton Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drives after rebates. A Maida Chevy exclusive.
See dealer for details and 4/30/24.
See all the savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Chris, the Niners over-under is out. And I could be getting April Fools, by the way, but I did come across it. It says 11.5.
Yes. No, you have not been fooled. That is correct.
Over.
Yeah.
Over. I would think so. What, they won 13 last year, or was it 14? They lost 3 games, 17 weeks. Yeah. No, they lost. It was 4.
They were 12 and 5.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. Then when you see that, you're thinking,
You know, remember that Christmas game so well.
That's right.
Oh
Merry
my gosh,
Christmas.
that's right. I definitely blacked that one out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the painful October stretch.
Right. The 3 games in a row.
Browns and the Vikings.
Vikings, and Bengals. Bengals as well. I don't know. I mean, that's tough. Like, because that's a question of essentially, I mean, did the Niners get worse, or A, or B, did the other teams get better as well?
Right.
I mean, you know, it could be as simple as that. We probably have to look at their schedule as well to see the opponents they play. I'd imagine they play a first place schedule, so they're going to play all of the division winners, and that obviously adds to the difficulty of it. I bet smart money would probably take the under.
Probably.
But
I mean, it's been a long stretch
it
here.
feels on the surface to take the over.
Yeah. And their division, if you think their division
That's
is,
true
is
too,
better
right.
or worse, you got to think the Cardinals
Be
will
tough
be
for it
better.
to be worse. Yeah.
Yeah. From the 530, if Davion is the answer, then the Kings aren't going to succeed. Well, Davion has been playing pretty well and doing some playmaking of his own, but
you have to be a piece.
It depends
of
on your definition of success, I would say.
And answer.
It's just about getting into the dance. That's all you want to do. And after that, we'll see what happens. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to Ashley, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Ashley? What you got for us?
First off, a little off topic, but I wanted to start off by saying, I don't know if you guys heard, but condolences and all that going out to the Vontae Davis family. Passed away at a young age of 35, former Bills corner. But the main reason I was wanting to call in was because I think that the Monk injury, as bad as it is a very, very, very bad one, and it's something that most certainly is going to hurt the Kings more than likely. I think this actually also gives a little bit of a golden opportunity in the sense of with the playoffs, it's more of a defensive game, and we are going to have guys like Keon and Davion stepping up, and it's going to be hard to replace what Malik does offensively, but defensively, I think that we could end up in a really good spot and potentially end up playing some really solid defense and holding teams down to like 100 or so, kind of like the Knicks. And what's your thoughts on that?
Thanks for the call, Ashley. Yes. And yeah, great call on Vontae Davis. Prayers go out to the family who he passed away. And yeah, that's just a sad situation. Thanks for the call, Ashley. It's definitely a good thought as far as the Kings defensively. So again, 15 points, 5 assists, 5.5 assists a game. That's where Malik was at. And obviously, if you put that production on paper, it does not tell the full story of how important Malik Monk is to that team. But if you do put it on paper, you think, yeah, better defense and hopefully you get that 15 from a collection of people. Yeah, maybe there is a world where the Kings are better set up, I guess, on the defensive end for the playoffs than they would be with Malik. But again, that's assuming that you're getting Malik's production somewhere else.
Sure. It's just we're 8 games left in the season. We have like 2 weeks. It's just really tough to wholesale change your identity as a team with 8 games to go. Like, you don't have many practices to figure out rotations. You also, again, why this is now a lot of pressure is now on Mike Brown in my eyes is because you've seen all of these guys play all year long. You've got to push the right buttons right now. Like, you cannot have bad Duarte minutes. You can't have bad Kessler minutes, bad Sasha minutes. You have to nail all of those rotational decisions. And this is why in theory, this is why you've been so random from the fans' perspective of your rotations, because you got a good look at everybody. You should have an understanding of how everyone's going to act in a certain situation. I kind of feel like down the stretch here, they're definitely going to need to play better defense, but at the same time, I just don't know if they're going to become a team like the Knicks. That's what I said earlier, is they can lean towards being more defensive, but at the end of the day, at this point, you are who you are. You run what you run. You can't really switch that up all too much. You can run more pick and roll, but at the end of the day, these guys are still going to be dribble handoffs. They're still going to be trying to get out in transition, and they're just going to have to find different ways of winning. Can you win on the offensive glass? Can you win the possession battle in general? Can you force more turnovers, being more chaotic? They're going to have to look a little bit different, because there's no way you can play the same style without Malik and Kevin Huerter out there.
And it's got to come from somewhere. And if Davion, as much as we've talked about Keon, Davion has played some great basketball lately.
Oh yeah.
And it's not just a 3-and-D guy. He's been getting into the paint. He's shot a couple mid-ranges. He's got a little bit of a floater going. So Davion, to me, and it's so crazy with how long a season goes. There are dudes that we just don't even talk or think about for weeks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this person could really help you in the playoffs. And I think that could be a Davion Mitchell. We know what he does defensively against some of the other guards in the league, and he's going to have an opportunity. We get the Chris right after this Clippers situation, you get the remake. And I know we're talking about Davion, but you get Keon's revenge on Jalen Brunson. I'm looking forward to that.
God,
he's got to avenge the look away.
He does. He really
I don't
does.
know how.
No.
Maybe
Clamp
a new
him.
career high.
All game.
You got to clamp him up.
Yeah. No,
you have to.
That's a great. I really wish. That's very very keen of you to observe. I didn't even consider that, but you're right. Like, Keon's gonna have to absolutely step up. He got 28 minutes last night. They have not been playing, even though Keon's been starting, he has not been playing that many minutes. It's going to be big on him too. Like, he's going to have to step up. I'm looking at the defensive numbers yesterday. 4 of 8 against Keon Ellis isn't ideally what you're looking for. Davion Mitchell, though, yesterday held opponents 1 of 9 when guarded by Davion.
Off night.
That is off night right there. And you're going to need those 2 guys to really set the tone. And then De'Aaron 3 steals, 2 blocks yesterday. I wouldn't mind seeing a more defensive-minded roster out here, or defensive-minded rotations. I just, at the end of the day, I mean, we just have seen so many times these games come down to the Kings knocking down shots. So even if the defense is improved, at the end of the day, if they're not hitting threes, I don't think that they're not going to play defense if they're not hitting shots. We've seen it's changed a little bit here recently, but too many times we've seen that this team does kind of base their effort off of whether or not they're hitting shots or not.
And defensively tomorrow night, I mean, Harrison Barnes, you need Harrison because they don't have just one wing, they have 2.
Yep.
Because you can only put Keegan on Paul George or Kawhi.
Yep.
You can't put him on both.
Yep.
So
and they're probably going to attack whichever one he's not on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we've seen it be Paul George. We've seen it be Kawhi. I don't think Keegan or HB can stop either of those guys or really slow them down. So, can you just make it hard for those guys? I mean, and then you have to deal with James Harden too. I would assume they put Keon on James. It's going to be tough. Not every team is going to look like the Utah Jazz. None of them are, actually. The Kings only have 1 more or 2 more easy games against Brooklyn, and then end of the season against the Blazers. Now is the time for everybody to step up.
And I'll tell you what, I was nervous yesterday. I was nervous for that Sunday game.
Yeah.
Now they moved to 5 and 4.
Yeah, that's right.
On Sundays. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Craig, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Craig? What you got for us?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I have a different opinion on who Keegan is than you guys claim that he's going to revert back to after his showing last night into falling asleep in the corner as a spacer of the offense only. My opinion on it is that the guy they haven't taken his training wheels off. The way the offense works and the way the fourth quarter, especially where Fox goes one-on-one all the time, he's not able to do those. He can't kick the ball. He doesn't have the vision, or he doesn't go to it quick enough in the rotation to get the ball to people. But last night, if you saw, they ran a different set where Keegan was lining up almost like at the high post.
Mm-hmm.
And he was acting as a second screen for Fox as he got into his action in the key. And Keegan's wide open, and Fox actually did get to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that the Kings internally have realized that Fox in the fourth quarter isn't as productive as he was last year, and they're trying to find ways to get Keegan going. So I think, I would hold that comment that you made that he's going to revert back to who he is. Let's watch the next nine games and see what they're forced into because of being shorthanded.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he doesn't. We want Keegan to continue to shoot and to continue to be aggressive, and that all starts tomorrow night against the Clippers, or I guess continues tomorrow night, hopefully, against the Clippers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Presents The sound of BOGO-free Blizzard treats in the DQ app. It's the sound of downloading the DQ app.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly! Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Reacting to our caller, Craig, who had some things to say about Keegan and the team understanding that maybe it doesn't have to be all De'Aaron Fox in the fourth quarter. We were more so talking about Harrison Barnes as it pertains to probably going to revert back. It's more Harrison Barnes that we were talking about versus Keegan Murray, but you're going to need both of them to step up the rest of the way. And yeah, the De'Aaron, it is interesting how everything happens the way it happened last season. And it's this unspoken thing to where you get to the fourth quarter, later in the fourth quarter, if it's a close game.
Your quarter,
of course. And the offense just stops being run.
Yeah. Yeah. It just completely switches.
It just stops.
It becomes, and you know what? I will say to Craig's point that he was making about, De'Aaron doesn't allow anybody else to even get the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to feel free to speak if you think I'm wrong here. I think that's more of a matter of necessity than him being selfish. And I'm trying to massage it, but if I'm just going out there, I'm going to say nobody else can you don't trust anybody else with the ball in their hands in those moments. HB isn't creating shots for others. Keegan Murray talked yesterday about how he's just now starting to even consider that part of his game in terms of playmaking. De'Aaron and Malik were the only two that you would trust with the ball in their hands 5 minutes or less to go to either get a shot from themselves or create so much attention that they get a wide open look for somebody else. Not a single other player on the Kings is capable of doing that. Maybe Davion can collapse the defense by attacking, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be put in those situations.
Well, it's just tough because where's the line, right? If De'Aaron is the franchise guy, you shouldn't want him passing the basketball, right? Because and I know Keegan Murray did some great things last season, but if you're looking around the starting, especially now, if you're looking around, unless it's Sabonis or De'Aaron, you're under that 3-minute mark. Who else do you really trust to take shots right now? I mean, I guess
nobody.
Maybe you put Keegan in that category because he's a good shooter.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, I'm looking around thinking, all right, if you lose because De'Aaron missed, how did you feel when Harrison ended up with the ball and he took that shot to tie it up and he bricked it, right? I mean, I'd rather, even though De'Aaron's 3-point numbers have gone down, I just want
down with the ship. Right?
I want my guy taking the shot.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because I'm just a lot more willing to live with it. It's like, that's our best player, and we were going to live and die with his result anyway.
The free throw line. But.
Definitely not the free throw line. The free throw line is a completely different conversation.
Completely different.
But just in a clutch moment, season on the line, or most important games, those things need to be in De'Aaron and Domas's hands. If anything, maybe the conversation is what happens to Sabonis in those fourth quarters. Can we now figure out a better way to utilize Sabonis in those fourth quarters? He's mainly used for his screen setting in the fourth, and you don't really see a lot of the playmaking. You really see none of the scoring in the fourth quarter. Maybe that's where the Kings need to look now, because again, I don't see them just putting the ball in Keegan's hands just for the sake of getting a second ball handler out there. I think those possessions in these games are way too big to be experimental with that. I think you just got to, it's going to be a lot of De'Aaron Fox, but I think you got to work Sabonis in there too and get him maybe a couple post-up isolations. Maybe you get him doing some fake dribble handoffs like Brendan Nunez was talking about last week. You got to get him more involved in the clutch time. That would be my guess in those situations. Probably not more Keegan Murray, really fundamental step back jumpers.
Yeah, we were wondering where else anything would come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Keegan sometimes can create for himself, but it's still rare.
Yeah.
I still find myself saying, oh, okay, Keegan.
Exactly.
I still find myself a little bit surprised. And now is not the time to try out new stuff. It's just, unfortunately, that's just who this team is. And, we talked a little bit about the offseason earlier in the show, but yeah, we will have those conversations when we have them. As far as finishing out this season and staying out of the play-in, there is a reason that we are no longer talking about the Mavericks. And now the Pelicans are the team that the Kings are going to, I guess, jockey with for that 6th spot. I think the Mavericks are going to go ahead and finish 5th the way they're rolling right now. I saw a graphic, Chris, and this is from the Kings Herald, and it's terrible. So this is basically what the Kings lost out on when they lost to the Mavericks. If the Mavericks finish 9-0, the Kings can't jump them. If the Mavericks finish 8-1, the Kings can't jump them. If the Mavericks finish 7-2, the Kings can't jump them. And this was also before that Rockets game.
Right.
So now they're 1-0. And the Kings, if the Mavericks finish 6-3, the Kings would have to go 9-0, which they won last night. So 8-0 in order to jump them. If the Kings finish 5-4, the Kings would still need to finish 8-1, and so on and so forth. If the Mavericks go 3-6, which they're not going to do, the Kings would have to go 6-3, which I don't think they're going to do.
Right.
So it's over.
No longer controlling your destiny.
It's over as it pertains to the Mavericks, and the only thing you can hope is that the Pelicans keep losing now, and you beat them head-to-head for the first time this season, and you beat the Suns.
Yep. That's your hope.
That's your hope.
That is what your hope looks like for the 2024
It's time to speak
season.
playing.
Yep, and it just seems like it's trending that direction right now. I mean, I'm not fully giving up on it, but again, like, you've taken all the destiny out of your hands. It's now you need New Orleans to slip up, and you need yourself to pick yourself up and play some of your best basketball of the year. I think it's a really big ask. I feel like they're destined to the play-in, and hoping for a 6th seed is really just hope at this point. I think so many things would have to go in the Kings' favor that just hasn't all year long. It would be wishful thinking. I'm not saying it's completely cooked, but I would move forward with the thought that this team is probably going to end up in that play-in situation. And, you know, I even hate to bring this up,
KD and
but
Devin Booker,
man, we right now, we might just need to focus on keeping in that 7-8 matchup, because I'm looking at the Lakers, who are only a game and a half back of both Phoenix and Sacramento. And, you know, as much as we would love to talk about maybe sneaking out of the play-in, you know, maybe we should just worry about our seeding within that play-in tournament right now, and hopefully we can get 2 home games if necessary at Golden One Center. Because if you're talking about the Kings maybe possibly potentially slipping into that 9-10 matchup, and now the Kings have to win 2 games just to get to the 8th seed.
I'm not even having that conversation.
Yeah, that's a different level of hopium that I just don't think they have here.
Because then
we're all part of the same miracle.
I mean,
because then, you're hosting a game, and then you're going on the road that second game.
Yep.
And it's either going to be
against
whoever
Phoenix or LA.
Yep.
Hell no.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
Hell no.
I don't know what you do at that point, but you know, this is the bed that the Kings have made, and they kind of need to lie in it. And you know, in a weird way, it is setting up for, if they make it out of that situation, I think that's a positive. Like, I think that's a major win for these guys with how the chips are kind of stacked right now. There's opportunity for optimism, but man, I mean, again, when you just look at the schedules, you look at how the Kings have kind of just tricked away those 2 games against Dallas. You look at the opponents that they have ahead of them. It's tough to have faith right now. It really is. For all of you who are keeping the faith, keep at it, because you can definitely realistically talk yourself into things going well, but you know, from somebody who watches this thing every day, and we've tried to not get lost in the emotions of it, this feels like the point where we've said a lot. They can't mess around anymore. You almost have to be perfect down the stretch here.
You almost have to be perfect. And I think that we will know a lot more about who this team is going to be tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night, I mean, against a Clippers team who's kind of been a little bit flaky lately. Haven't been playing their best ball. This is a game that it's crazy to say that you have to have, but in front of that East Coast stretch with the Knicks and the Celtics, I mean, you got to win one of these. You have to beat a team there. Vegas, you have to win a game where Vegas doesn't think you're going to win. Because I don't think they'll be favored tomorrow.
Where will they be favored? Because I really don't know how many games down the stretch here. You got the Clippers game. I don't think so. At Knicks.
Maybe.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Will we know Malik Monk? Probably not.
Probably not. At Celtics.
Absolutely
probably not. Brooklyn. I think so. At OKC. Probably not. Versus the Pelicans.
Definitely
not if they've seen that movie before. Versus Phoenix. Maybe.
And I don't even want him to be favored.
And then it's end of the game, end of the season against the Blazers. I would hope so. Those are more games than not that the Kings will just straight up not be the favorite. And ultimately that stuff doesn't matter, but it is a sign that, again, the Kings have the odds literally stacked against them right now. And they're going to have to show something, man. That's the only way that this season is going to be saved, is by them really outplaying expectations and outplaying how a lot of these guys have played all year long. Now would be the great time for Keegan Murray to emerge from that cocoon that we've been talking about, especially at the beginning of this season. Now would be a great time for Keegan Murray to butterfly. Now would be a great time for De'Aaron Fox to look like the De'Aaron Fox that he looked like at the beginning of the season. So many other things we can go down the list. Guys need to step up right now. Everybody, all hands, just like TC has been saying for months now. It's everybody. It's on everybody to step up, and it's next man up every single day.
Coming up next, more Kings talk and March Madness. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The final game of the homestand concludes Tuesday as the Los Angeles Clippers pay a visit to Golden One Center and the Sacramento Kings.
Sabonis rolling in the paint, eludes the defender, and a two-hand flush is thrown down off the dribble.
Catch all the play-by-play starting at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Join Alan Stiles, Chris Watkins, and the Sactown Sports Street Team on Monday, April 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub for some basketball madness and their mouth-watering full menu. 1310 Fulton Avenue. See you there.
Will do it. So in their first test, without two top rotation players in Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, the Kings pass with flying colors. They have the Utah Jazz, their 9th consecutive loss. They make it a series sweep over Utah by 21 points. The final score is 127-106. So the Kings hold serve with all of those.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From our guy Joe Jaros on the Sac Chat, Chris. Wouldn't the Lakers or Warriors be the best thing for the Kings opponent-wise? They get the national stage and have a chance to take down last year's foes or LeBron. I don't want to see LeBron or Steph in a play-in situation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just from a fear factor standpoint, those guys, they, in a one-game playoff, best player on the floor, the odds are those guys have a really good shot at being that. And then, especially with the Lakers, you got to worry about that sixth man, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I definitely do. But what's funny is that I don't think the Lakers or Warriors want to see the Kings. I think on both sides. Yeah. Maybe I know the Warriors don't want to see the Lakers, but I know the Lakers don't really want to see the Kings, or nobody wants to see, and none of those three teams want to play each other. And it reminds me of what Shannon Sharp had to say. This is how I feel.
The Kings, I don't want to see those Kings in the playoffs. I don't want to see them in the play-in tournament. I don't want to see them at the AAU tournament. I don't want to see them at the Blacktop. I don't want to see the Kings no more this year. The rest of the year, I hope we don't see the Kings.
I should feel more confident against the Lakers, but in a play-in
they've killed them all
situation,
year. Yeah.
To get LeBron in the playoffs, just
no thanks.
Don't sign me up for that.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Like I do not. I've been confident every time the Kings have played the Lakers this year.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, things would have gone wrong if they're down there. But would you rather face out of these three teams?
Okay.
The Lakers, the Warriors, or the Rockets?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Well, the insane thing is that you would think the Rockets is the answer, but if you've watched the Kings Rockets this year, you would know that's the only team of that group that they haven't beaten. No Şengün, that was no problem. I guess that was more towards the end of the game. They've been on a roll since Şengün's went out. So, on paper, it might seem like, go with the team that doesn't have one of Steph Curry or LeBron James on it. Obviously, go with the team that has Jalen Green out there and Fred VanVleet, not LeBron and AD and Steph and the other guys. I would probably go Warriors just because the Kings, there's no fear on the Kings side of that. I think the Warriors do have more confidence in beating the Kings than the Lakers would have, but the fear of LeBron in a one-game playoff with the referees on his side, still have Anthony Davis. I just think that's a bit scarier than Steph Curry potentially dropping 50 again. I might live to regret those words. Or the Rockets who, the Rockets, it's just that feels like a terrible matchup.
I'm taking the Rockets.
I would love to. I mean,
you don't have a choice.
Says.
Yeah. You have to take the Rockets in that situation.
I think if you're sane, you probably do.
Right.
But if you've watched Kings basketball and you've lost your mind like everybody else, I think that's where, again, things don't make sense. So it makes sense to pick the Rockets. It makes all the sense in the world, but I can't pick them because the Kings have looked so terrible
it's
in
not
all
great.
3 games.
It's
against
been
Houston.
bad.
So
it's been bad.
I just can't.
More ownage, the Rockets or the Pelicans?
I mean, it's the Pelicans, but we're talking about just utter domination versus demolition.
Yeah.
And it's like, pick your poison because they've looked, the Pelicans, at the very least, there's an excuse, right? Like the Pelicans were the 4 seed. They were the 1 seed for a period last year. The Rockets, they just came up this year. Even then, they're the 11 seed. Like they're nothing that crazy.
Pelicans makes more sense.
It makes so much more sense. They have Herb Jones. They have Brandon. You can do you forget they have Jose Alvarado. Houston, it's like, what? You forget they have Jock Lawndale.
Yeah. Jalen Green.
It doesn't make sense. But he hasn't even, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'll pick the Rockets, but I don't feel good about any of them.
And hopefully we're not answering any of these
Hopefully
questions
not.
because you just
beat Phoenix.
You beat Phoenix at home
7-8.
and you get in.
Yep.
And then after that, you get you want the Thunder.
Yeah, that's interesting. Something I haven't thought about. How does Malik's injury affect how we feel about those potential 2 matchups? Obviously it makes you feel less good, but yeah, I guess you'd still probably rather play Minnesota of him and OKC.
It probably would be Minnesota.
I think OKC just has too many guys that they can throw out there, and Lou Dort could kill you. It just feels like they have more guards that can hurt you, and yeah, I'd probably still go Minnesota.
Well, and the thing is, they're going to face I don't think they have the Timberwolves again, but they definitely have the Thunder again.
Yeah.
And, we'll see what happens. Everything that we want to know about this Kings team, we will know in a couple weeks here.
Yep.
In a couple weeks. We also do know who the Final 4 is on the men's side. UConn, Purdue, NC State, and Alabama. So what? NC State's the random one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's America's favorite.
And Alabama, I guess. Both of them are random. Have you been intrigued for March Madness this year? Don't lie.
In total, no, not really. I have been impressed with Connecticut's domination. We were at Fieldhouse on Saturday watching that game pretty much as the 30-0 run went on. And that's just not something that typically happens in college. Teams don't usually go on 30-0 runs. So that definitely impressed me and made me feel like, I mean, and we'll talk about the women's bracket maybe here in a minute, but it feels to me like UConn and South Carolina on the women's side are the two best actual teams. I think there's a lot of teams that have like one or two guys that maybe are game changers. Obviously, Purdue with Zach Edey, he had a 40-20 game or something like that the other day. They've got individuals, but Connecticut and South Carolina seem to just have more than just a Caitlin Clark or a Juju or a Paige Beckers on the women's side. And then, Zach Edey on the men's side. I keep calling him Young Zebo, but what's his actual DJ Burns? DJ Burns.
Yeah.
A lot of these other teams are kind of relying on one guy. Alabama's actually been a nice story, but it feels like it's Connecticut and South Carolina's tournament to lose.
And I guess DJ Burns, this is from Bleacher Report, that NFL GMs are showing interest in DJ.
He's probably like, I guess as a tackle?
Yeah, like an offensive tackle.
He feels like somebody who would have been like one of those viral, how like every couple of years, like a viral, this kid's in 8th grade, but he's 6'4" and 295 pounds.
Yeah.
Feels like DJ Burns probably would have been one of those kids.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny, and I'm double checking everything today with it being April Fool's.
That's right.
And on the women's side, Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark part 2.
Ooh,
that's tonight.
juicy.
And Paige Beckers versus Juju. That's also tonight. That's a crazy slate of games.
Yes.
And I am really interested just to see how it does as far as viewership.
Yeah.
We've talked so much about the women's side having more star power, and you're not going to get more fully loaded with star power than tonight.
Yeah, no, and I'm just looking at it right now. It doesn't look like there's any counter programming, so it's got the center stage. It's got it all. I expect this. I mean, this is. I don't think the women's bracket could have drawn it up any better than this. You get Caitlin and Angel Reese part 2. Everything that goes into that, you have it's literally a championship rematch. I look out for LSU. I really think LSU has the upper hand in that one. As I was just talking about teams versus individuals, Caitlin's obviously incredible, but LSU's got so many players that they can neutralize her and still do things on their own. It's going to be a big night. Juju against Paige Beckers. She's kind of had a really up and down career because of injuries, but I think Dawn Staley said the other day, she's the best player in the nation, and nobody's really talking about her. They've forgotten about her. Tonight's a great opportunity for the women's game to shine, and I could not recommend more that if you were against it, if you felt like, this is just media trying to shove it down my throat, watch tonight and let me know if you feel differently, because this is truly as good as it gets.
Yeah, and from the NBA side,
Nothing,
I don't even think there's any national games. I mean, the best game is Suns at Pelicans, and that's at 5. Everybody else, the Celtics are at Hornets.
Yep.
The Blazers are at Magic. Grizzlies. Oh, is this a game that we looked up a couple weeks ago?
That's right.
Grizzlies
Let's
and
look
Pistons.
up those prices.
They were, I think, $2.50. That was the last time we checked. Hawks at Bulls as well. Nets at Pacers. We have some sound from Angel Reese on the matchup and part 2. Let's hear from her.
It's fun. I have somebody to go back and forth with. A lot of times, some players don't even say anything back, so it's no fun. But I know me and Kayla will go at it if anything. Just out of competition, though. She wants to win. I want to win, and we're both just two great players that want to compete.
For me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great. It's what people want to turn on the TV and watch.
And here's two players that enjoy that aspect of the game. And so, so be it. I really don't want to get caught up in it. That's not my style. But if that's what drives those two players, then let them have it.
Will there be a meme out of this game or something else to remember it by? When we return, more Kings talk, and we'll talk April Fool's fair foul. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Fran!
Cisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and Sactownsports.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
If you've got weak Wi-Fi, it's time to rethink your internet provider. Fidium Fiber's dedicated connection offers tons of bandwidth, and whole home Wi-Fi lets you seamlessly connect all your devices all at the same time. Visit fidiumfiber.com today.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Welcome to a brighter future with Aztec Solar, serving Sacramento since 1980. Everyone knows that solar saves money. How much? The answer is a few clicks away. Visit yourpowersavings.com. It's fast, easy, and reliable, giving you instant insight into your potential savings.
I used to pay $400 a month to the power company, and that $400 a month added up to $48,000 over the past 10 years. That all changed when I switched to solar with Aztec Solar.
Now it's your turn to stop overpaying for electricity. Calculate your solar savings right now at yourpowersavings.com. And Aztec Solar will email or text you how much you'll save every month. Plus, we've got an exclusive offer for you. Get your solar electrical system for just $9,995 cash price after incentives. Don't wait. This deal won't last forever. Visit yourpowersavings.com today and take the first step towards energy independence with Aztec Solar.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
A new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
In or out on April Fools? I'm just a bit tired of it. I know it's only one day, but I woke up and said Brandon Ayuk got traded, and their pictures of Kyle Shanahan getting fired. Now that one was a bit more okay.
Sure.
But the Brandon Ayuk one, I didn't repost it or anything. I just don't get it.
It's definitely like, to me, it's a child's holiday. Like, I just don't think that you should be. It feels like maybe high school should start to be the cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think you should be in college doing April Fool's pranks.
So I will say I did participate one year.
Okay.
This was a couple years ago, and it was Easter fell on April Fool's Day.
Okay.
This is a couple years ago.
Okay.
So we took a family picture, and I posted the picture on Instagram, and I said that I was moving to Japan. And
gotcha.
What I got out of it, I'm not really sure.
Exactly.
But people were cracking up. Like, why are you going to
But I'm
Japan?
sure that there's also like at least 3 people who just follow you but never see you that actually think that you currently live in Japan.
Probably.
And that's the part of April Fool's that I just don't get, is like, I'm like, not everyone's going to know this is a joke.
Yeah. And the other thing was, because it was on Instagram, I had to like comment on the picture and say, hey,
this is April Fool's joke. Sorry. Do you apologize even? Like, is it?
I mean, random people were saying, whoa, Japan? Yeah, they ended up going to Japan.
Man.
From CBS News, historians aren't pulling your leg when they say no one is quite sure about the origins of April Fool's Day. April 1st, the annual day of shenanigans, pranks, tricks, and hoaxes, falls on, today, Monday. While historians are unsure of the exact source of tradition, they do know the custom goes back centuries, at least back to Renaissance Europe and possibly back to Roman times.
So people have been
it just exists.
It just exists. No one knows exactly why. It's just for some reason today's
the day.
We like to put kick me signs on, like, and that's one thing too, is like maybe that's we lost the root of the tradition of April Fool. Like good old,
we're losing recipes.
Some bunny ears behind the picture. I think it got too much when people were like, faking pregnancies and deaths and,
That's a little much.
like,
Japan.
saying people getting fired and then not.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, you really just made me go through the emotions of which it actually happened. So are you being funny or are you just kind of being the worst?
Simone, in or out on April
I'm
Fools?
so out. I mean, this
Out.
is one of my least favorite days of the year, and I'm constantly on guard. There are so many people who
Yes.
try and send me articles. My friends are getting excited, sharing articles, and I'm like, yo, it is April Fool's, you guys. And I hate it. I really, really detest it.
It's honestly a little bit like St. Patrick's Day with the wearing green or
Oh,
else
and
you
I'll
get pinched,
pinch
where
you.
it's like,
Yeah, stop it.
I forget, like, I'm sorry, I don't wake up on April 1st and I'm like, be on alert today. People are going to be on their stuff. Like, it's one of those things where, like someone will send you something at 10:30 and it's completely like, it's a April Fool's thing. And your brain isn't thinking, oh, I need to be thinking of if this is true or not. You're just reacting. And all of a sudden, everybody, the president and Michael Jackson have all died and turned into aliens or something. It's like,
What was that one a couple of years ago? It comes to mind for Tiger Woods, like, him making his resurgence. And I remember there was a big April Fool's about like, he's going to be playing in the Masters this year. He's making his comeback. And then it wasn't. And I'm devastated. I hate them so much.
Because things like that will come out the woodworks where it's like, oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about, Dave showed us a fake tweet of DeMarcus signing a 10-day. It's like, that's so random that it's like, who would is that really made up? Because that seems like so small and insignificant. But
Jason got Dave. That was pretty good this
That's
morning.
a good one though.
Okay,
that's
is
a
that
good
one okay?
That's a good one.
That one's
That's
okay.
in good spirit. No one got hurt except for Dave. And at the end of the day, we can live if Dave's the only
You're
one.
talking about the celebrity birthdays
Yeah.
aspect?
Yeah. That's like a perfect April Fool's.
I don't think he knew. He thought he only got the last one not wrong. I don't think he knew.
No, he did. Well,
All
he
of
didn't
them?
know
until the end.
Yeah, he didn't know until the end.
No, that he got all of them wrong. Completely.
Right. No, he
Okay,
did not
good.
know. And it's also a question of what is like an actual prank. Like if somebody trips me and says April Fools, you just trip. You're just being a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a prank.
Yeah, it's not a prank. It's just called being rude. Like, oh, I
That's
accidentally
just
slammed the
assault.
door
That's
in your
assault.
face. My bad.
That's not a prank. That's
April
assault.
Fool's Day.
So if you are in or out on pranking, if you had some good pranks, 916-339-1140. If you had a good one, okay, and they better be good, hop on the text line or on the Sac chat.
Because it's like, every, high school girl who's trying to play one over on their dad is going to walk up, Dad, I have to tell you something. And it's like, what's not it's not.
Let's just not do that.
Let's just not,
Yeah.
You know what's not funny? That.
Yeah. I mean, and I wish that what happened to Malik Monk was an April Fool's.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was not. And one thing for people to kind of take from this, that I took from this, is when it first happened, I asked the people around me, you included, hey, the fact that he got ruled out so quickly, we try to take the crumbs and figure out where it's headed. And when somebody like Malik Monk gets ruled out that quickly, the consensus around the media space was that this is probably not good.
Right.
The fact that he couldn't even try.
Yeah.
So we knew
first quarter or something.
Yeah,
like
first
that,
quarter.
too,
So we knew it was probably not heading in the right direction. And then the news breaks. You get a bad Woj bomb. And I think everybody was just a little bit gutted when it first happened. And I think now, a couple days later, you get a win in you, a much needed win. If they lost to the Jazz, I mean, that would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
No, that would have been full-blown panic.
Yes.
Today would have been a whole lot different of a show, whole lot different vibe. And I mean, it can still return to that. We'll see how tomorrow goes. But, it was a devastating weekend. And it's one where, it's honestly like, you're so screwed, it's almost funny. It's just like, I can't believe we're in this situation. Of course, when we could really use everybody, we're losing some of our most important pieces. And, it's great that Sasha and Trey come back, but, I don't know if necessarily what they're going to bring is going to be big enough of an addition to really not feel some of what Malik and Kevin Huerter bring you. It now is winning time. It's the most important stretch of the season, and the Kings are going into it with not a lot of weaponry to go. They kind of got what they got, and you just got to hope that you stay healthy. It was scary. I don't know how much of the game you ended up watching yesterday, but they put Sabonis back in there to get the double-double.
Yeah.
He starts limping. His hurt his foot, and it's like
ridiculous.
That's the last thing we need right now, is in a situation where this game is completely taken care of, squared away. You got Sabonis potentially risking injury to keep this double-double streak. That's not what's important right now. What's important is making sure these guys get as much rest as possible. And the last thing you want to see is these guys tweak an ankle, hurt a foot, mess up De'Aaron's shoulder again. You need to keep these guys in bubble wrap anytime they're not on the floor. They need to be sure that they are treated hand and foot.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it at all. And I know that grinded your gears.
Oh, I could not stand it. Oh my gosh.
For a multitude of reasons.
It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Again, the rebound thing is great. It's fun, whatever. I think he broke a franchise. I don't know. Every night it seems like it's a franchise, a Sacramento, an NBA, a shot clock, a ABA, NBA It's like, I can't. What is he breaking at this point?
Before 1980.
Yeah. Like on a Thursday, most Sunday double-doubles can say, like, I don't know what we're doing anymore. Let's just win games. I would have been more than okay if Sabonis didn't get a double-double yesterday, if it was in the sake of me being able to sleep without having to think is Sabonis' foot broken.
Right. Well, and that's just more dings. And you're looking around this roster and you're wondering, man, when is this going to end? And at least you get a couple guys back, even though you lose Malik Monk. Crosstalk when we get back with the Drive Guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Matched De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Fidium Fiber, Dawson Oil Company, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, do you know your T level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you want a deal that's a slam dunk, go see the winning team at Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is your truck headquarters with all your American-made favorites, like America's best-selling F-Series, F-150s, and Super Duties, or spacious new Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. In the Folsom Auto Mall, you can buy any new Ford with zero down on approved credit, save big with low interest finance rates, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Check out the huge selection of inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership to see their most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. They'll help you out. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer for over 35 years and counting.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Joined by Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys. They're coming up next.
How you doing?
Whitey.
I'm a grandfather now.
That's right. Congrats. That's awesome. How you feel?
What? It's pretty cool. He's a cool little guy. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And
you
then,
know all about that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
baby races yesterday, by the way.
I know. And someone told, so the baby that won, that baby's name was Alan. So then I think Chris Verlade told Dave,
I saw Dave
Alan won the baby race. And I guess it was a April Fool's type deal. And Dave thought that we won it yesterday, but we did not win it yesterday.
We, the Allen clan.
Yes, the Allens.
Allen's represented.
Yeah, Allen's
sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got to feel a little good about that.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I still, every time she crawls, it still bugs me. It still bugs me every single time.
She probably knows what she's doing.
I know.
Oh, definitely.
I know. Where are you at on April Fools? Are you in or out? Have you ever pranked anyone?
Yes.
It feels like it would be near your wheelhouse.
I'm pretty much just all out because you got to be all in or all out,
Yeah.
you know? And these days, especially in radio, it's just best to be
all out. Yeah.
I mean, it crossed my mind doing the show what I would have done, right? To prank the listen.
Right.
I just don't know.
But it gets dangerous to where it's like, if we do a segment about De'Aaron Fox has broken his back and will miss the rest of the season. It's like there's going to be people who hear that and then get out of their car.
Somebody just heard you say that
exactly.
right now.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
and
you
now
don't really gain anything.
Nothing.
That's what I say. It's like you're all in or you're all out. And I'm just
One, especially now with social media too. Like Simone has came in here twice already and been like, "Look at this! Like these people are trying to get us out here." And like it can be so easy to just see something on your timeline, and it's like, yeah, Kyle Shanahan has fired everybody in the building and says, "I'm the only one who has thoughts here."
If someone's driving right now and they're only hearing part of this, and
that's what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, what is going on?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Well, it was no joke last night what the Kings were able to do to the Jazz. It's one of those where you feel good about it because that's what they were supposed to do. But how impressed were you?
I was impressed by the fact that you knew, just watching the Kings, we know that they've struggled against teams that they're supposed to beat, right? But to me, they just had that. They played like, this is a close game. Look up late, second quarter. But to me, they just looked like they knew they had it. And that's not something I know if I can't quantify that. But to me, just watching the way they played, I like the way they ran their offense. I think that's what it was. The offense, they ran very crisply. Without Malik, sometimes Malik and De'Aaron get a little ball dominant, which you want because they're so good.
Right.
But without them, I know you guys played. I asked HB about it last night. I heard you guys play that earlier. He says, trust the pass, trust the motion, and they did last night. Of course, you got to consider the opponent, but it looked good.
Yeah,
I'm curious, Whitey, something we've been talking about all day to kind of bounce off of that. How do you feel in terms of down the stretch? You lose Malik, you lose Kevin Huerter. De'Aaron and Sabonis need to step their game up versus exactly what you just laid out and what you asked HB. Which do you think is more important, that Sabonis and Fox make sure if they do lose games down the stretch here, it's not their fault, or making sure that the shots are pretty evenly distributed? Because you do need HB and Keegan to have some sort of consistency and some sort of impact for them to win.
I agree with what you said earlier, that in the fourth quarter, if I understood you correctly, fourth quarter close games is going to be even more Fox than it's ever been. And, last year was like a fourth quarter Fox. So I think it's more on Keegan. I think he's got to carry load. De'Aaron, we know, can do it. I don't know if Domas, you could see how he might say, wow, I have to pick up the slack here if the offense is struggling without Malik, but I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, that's
not a knock on him.
Yeah. No, he's just not. I mean, he's not really a guy who puts up a ton of shots, right?
Right.
He's had a couple games this season where he's put up like 6 shots in a game. Like his value is in creating for others. And, that's what I said earlier, is like, how can you build that out? Maybe is how do you make him in the fourth quarter create more for others? But he sets screens and that's really how he can be best utilized in those last 5 minutes. I don't know how really they can get more out of him in those times.
It's Mr. Vezenkov time.
That's right. It definitely might be. It definitely might be. I mean, they're at that point where I think you got to put all egos aside and just look at the reality of, this guy's a shooter. He's a scorer. Might as well give him a chance at it, right?
Yeah. They're tough to guard when they run their offense. I heard you guys last week talking about, attacking Luka more. And I know that Coach Brown was saying that should be kind of built into our offense. And I think he just meant, their offense, they don't hunt mismatches. They hunt open shots. And if the defense, if there's really a weakness there and they run their offense, the offense is going to naturally find that those shots are going to come there in that weak spot. But, sometimes they don't run it very well. It gets bogged down.
No, but like you said, but again, we'll know a lot more about this team and about the season after tomorrow night. The Jazz, yes, you took care of business, which hasn't been something that they've really consistently done, but they did last night. Lesser opponent, but now what do you do against a playoff team? Because the Clippers, that's more of the vibe of the team that you're going to be playing to end the season.
Yeah,
I'm scared. To be honest with you, I'm very nervous about how they're going to go out and I mean, it's not that I don't think they can, but again, to your point, like we've just seen this team. They've played really well against good opponents, but it's just the chips are stacked so far against them that, they're going to have to play incredible basketball. And, it feels like they're just taking blow after blow after blow. I don't know how much energy they have left either. I mean, again, Sabonis has had this streak of consistency day after day after day. I don't know how much more they have left in the tank. I mean, obviously you're going to have something for the playoffs, but if we're talking about going to another level and then reaching a different level in the playoffs, like I just don't know how much more these guys have to give.
I don't know if this is anything, but we all have seen them this year times look like they're struggling with the weight of expectation in some of those games where you're supposed to win. Come on, what's wrong? Well, now that's gone. For better or worse,
Right.
like, house money that's overused.
sure.
But right now, expectations are more, they're, like you said, it's it's reasonable to look at that team and go, well, it's not their fault. They just don't have the horses right now. So maybe they respond to that and play with more freedom. They start surprising people and embrace that underdog role. And then who knows?
Honestly, this is what they're more used to.
I agree.
We came into this season and things were a little bit shaky early, and we had conversations about, is this the Kings not necessarily being used to having expectations? Well, those are gone now. And as far as not having guys, I mean, what if I told you that the Rockets were going to lose Şengün and win 10 straight? So, I mean, you still have De'Aaron Fox. You still have Domas. So there's no reason that you can't end this stretch here and with 6 wins or something like that, 5-6 wins, and at least feel good, because that'll keep you at least in the 7 seed, you would think, right? 8 games left.
Did you say 6 wins?
I know. 5 wins.
I mean, that's great if you
5
do.
wins keeps you out of 5 wins. Make sure you have a home play-in. You definitely get a home play-in with 5 wins.
Right now, I think 7 or 8. If you're 7 or 8, obviously 7 is like, 8 would be like, okay.
Sure.
Anything other than that, it's like, well, hang on tight. But 7 or 8, I think, given where they are right now, you'd have to feel halfway decent about.
Yeah, no, for sure. Whitey, I'm curious, how experimental would you like to see Mike Brown get? Like, again, 8 games left. You've played all of these games. We just mentioned Sasha. Like, is it a Sasha 15 minutes? Are you okay with Colby Jones getting time here?
I would love to see
do you just kind of stick with the guy? I would love to see it, but 8 games left, and you could view it as nothing to lose, or you could view it as these are the most important games. I can't afford to have an unknown variable out there.
I think he would only experiment as necessary if there's something that's not clicking.
Yeah.
Obviously now everyone's roles are shifting a little bit. And if somebody whose role now is, they have a larger role and they're not responding, then you got to find an answer. You can't wait, 6 or 7 games to see if they find it.
There's no windows.
Yeah. It's going to come out of necessity. It's just a matter of who is going to be the person, or who are the guys that are going to show up. I mean, Kessler Edwards, every time his number's been called, he's nobody talked about in Washington because they ended up losing that game. Malik goes again. It's almost when Kessler gets in, he's been playing well, but they've been in losses. But if you can get him in earlier and just see what he can do, I mean, he's definitely answered the call. And we've been talking about Davion too. Davion's been playing well.
Yeah. You guys saw Drapes Friday wearing.
He was locked in. He was the most ready to go on Friday.
What player's uniform should Drapes wear? Who do we want to see him? Maybe a throwback or something?
Yeah. I mean, the De'Aaron Fox works now. We still need De'Aaron Fox.
But that one didn't work. It's not his fault, but obviously that,
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
that's 0 for 1. But it's certainly something worth trying again.
Yeah.
I got to go Domas, right?
Domas, I was, maybe Keegan. Maybe we can wish some good Keegan energy out there for sure. But we need the Kings to keep the same energy that Draper got. Draper was ready to go. Ready for action.
I know.
And those guys, they just weren't quite as ready.
Last night, but Scott Moak, talking about Keegan. Scott Moak last night during dinner, he was talking about how amazed he is. Is like, whatever I say, Keegan, they respond. Murray, he's like amazed by that. That
the power.
Whatever he says, people will follow his cadence.
Murray.
That was a sad one. Real quick before we get out of here, Whitey, something that keeps coming up with everything that Sabonis does well. Do you think it's a little, and we'll break this down even more tomorrow, do you think it's a little bit overblown how people just are insisting on continuing to talk about Sabonis not having a mid-range jump shot. With all the stuff he does, I get at least one text a show talking about his lack of jump shots.
It's a fair comment, but it's just like, well, okay, he's not a perfect player, and he's worked on it this year, and he's extended his range a little bit. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he's making a high percentage of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's fair, but I just think it's a little overblown. Like, well, that's what's holding him and them back,
Right. I don't think that's holding the Kings offense back at all. Would it be nice? Sure. But now we're talking about a full-on generational player here.
There's other guys on that team I'd rather see taking a 15-foot jump shot than Sabonis.
Agreed. All right, that does it for Stiles and Watkins. You have the Drive Guys up next with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.